Live from the Armada FM studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
You may fill me up, yeah. Can you fill me up, yeah? You won't break me down. I've come too far, yeah. I've come too far, yeah. So just throw in the towel. Hey. It's a new day. I'ma do it. Yeah, I'm gonna go all the way. You may build me up.
Welcome. Good morning. This is Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. You're listening to the Sports Joc Show. It is June 8th. Beautiful weather here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's summer, and unlike other summers, last week, just an enormous amount of sporting events, NBA Finals, the French Open, Belmont Stakes. We got men becoming women, but I don't know how that actually works. It just was an interesting week all around. We got guys with AKs at the airport getting Big Macs. I mean, it's just a lot going on in this world and this place we call America. I am glad to be here. Me and my co-partner over here, we're going to be running this show from 9 to noon, so sit back, relax, and get ready for a great show. Serena Williams winning her 20th major. The guy to my left, Big Kenny, he's going to be happy to get onto that subject. People getting divorced after just a month. I mean, we're going to talk about that. Is it right to get pregnant by a man when you are married to a woman and the woman you married doesn't agree? I mean, we're going to break that down. Big Kenny has a lot of jokes for that segment. Oh, man. The Sports Joc on Friday, I've been telling you about me getting my NFL benefits. I flew down to Tampa. I had to take a day trip. They made me go see a doctor down in St. Petersburg. Interesting trip. I used Uber for the first time. Overrated, at least in the Tampa area. You sent those Dodge Caravan minivans to pick me up. One of them was real dirty, had a doggy smell. So that was the ride over. Then on the ride back, I had an Indian guy driving. His name was Lauro. And Lauro, 10 seconds into the cab ride back, or Uber ride back, wants to tell me how me and him identify and how he hate rednecks and that St. Petersburg and Tampa are full of rednecks, and how he even went as far as pulling out his American passport card to really let me see that he was an American, which was interesting. Nobody's ever done that, but it was an interesting ride back. He even had on some rap music. Said he had been here for 34 years. I guess he thought I like rap because he liked rap, but, just funny. I'm going with Indy. Now, the Sports Joc is not one of those people who has all the codes down. See, some people, you ever have those people correct you like they know the code too? Like they got all the groups of people broken down. You ever meet those people that swear they can tell a Iraqi from a Iranian and blah, 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 blah? They swear they do. They know the difference between a Korean and someone. They got it like they know like two. They know the difference between Japanese and Chinese, and then the rest of them just fall in. But I'm going with Indian on this because he said brown people. So I think that's what the cab driver said, brown people. Now, it could have been but he hates the police, as a lot of these members here on my show do. He hated the police. He told me to make sure if the police pull me over in the Tampa area to just get down on the ground. I'm like, what kind of crimes are you committing? How are you already out the car? What happened to, can I check your license and registration? You already on the ground. But Lauro and Uber, only thing I didn't understand about Uber was it was $31 over, $59 back. It was the same there was no extra mileage. It was just I don't understand how that works, but the NFL at least picks up that part of the bill. And shame on you sending a man to an orthopedic doctor and coach. I mean, it seems like an oxymoron to me that I need to go see a man about a bad back and you got me in the back. But that is how the NFL and its owners keeps all those millions. They are thrifty, to say the least. But we're glad to be here. We're missing Miss Ash today. She's going to call in later to say farewell to Big Kenny. She's taking her toes and talents back to California or somewhere in New York. I'm quite sure she will be posting feet photos for Big Kenny as she travels. Prison break in New York. Nobody wants to talk about that this morning. Power tools, Shawshank Redemption style. I mean, how power tools in prison? I missed that. Is there a workshop in the prison? Do they still make license plates? No. Was that ever true? They made license plates in prison, right? Okay, so there are power tools in prison. Y'all prison people, help me. No, nobody wants.
They got power tools.
So it's just odd. They broke out in 20 miles south of the Canadian border, and the police talking about they a statewide search. They're in Canada, people. Where else would you go 20 miles from the border? You go to the border. You're in life for murder. One of them was life without parole. You don't go south. You don't leave New York and try to get to Florida or to the Mexican border. You just go 20 miles and go to A. Start eating some whaleback or smoking crack with the mayor or something up there. But I'm quite sure they will search these men down because, you know, America, we can find whoever we want to find whenever we want to find them. Problem is, do we want to find them? But 150 years, they said, this prison has been open. It's a long time for one facility to be open. Clinton Correctional Facility, I want to say, is the name of it. But we are here. Big Kenny, good morning to you, sir. Chi-Town's finest.
Chi-Town's finest in the building. Good morning, Sports Joc. How are you?
I'm doing great. They're building the new location in Chicago, just so you know when you go home, at the Taco Bell. They'll be selling liquor there. They're opening up new locations up there where you can get your burrito and a beer.
Yeah, because if Chicago needs anything, it's more drunken people in a restaurant. I don't understand that one. I'll tell you, it's unfortunate that you had that Uber experience. Uber's not quite regulated, so I've tried it once just for the experience. But you get what you pay for. You know what I'm saying? I think it was funny. You were on the NFL about putting you in coach, and then you land on I need a cheap ride. You know what I mean? I don't want no cab. Isn't it funny how people will say racist stuff to you, assuming that you're racist?
Right.
And I've always thought that if you say racist stuff to me, you'll say racist stuff about me. So when the redneck guy gets in the cab with, what was his name? Laro. He's on some, hey, you know what, man? I'm telling you, these black guys everywhere, man, just criminal. I see them, they're so criminal. And it's just ridiculous. And you said we hate the police. I don't hate the police. I have a lot of respect for them. I hate the police behavior. Bad police behavior is what I'm hating. And as far as the people breaking out of prison, I don't understand this. You get power tools in prison, but you can't get your hands on a plastic fork. You know what I mean? Now you'll strip search me to make sure I don't take a spoon back to my cell. But meanwhile, nobody hears the jackhammer over in the laundry room going, where did they escape from? What room in the prison?
I'm trying to figure out how you even
It was an inside job.
How did you get the power tools to wherever?
It was an inside job.
Did you got them to?
It was an inside job. Now, there was not one correctional officer that thought, where's this extension cord going?
Now, they obviously watched Andy Dufresne.
Well, I mean, he didn't have power tools, and at least he waited for the storm. You know what I mean? These people are somewhere where power tools shouldn't even be. Like I'm saying, they're in the laundry room, and
they might have had them a guy like Morgan Freeman that can get him anything.
They can get him anything.
You know, I like get you anything.
Like Novocaine and knockout drops. You know, how do you pull that off? And how many of them got away?
Two. It was two gentlemen.
Oh, wow.
One was doing life without parole. The other one was doing 25 years. They both were in jail for murder. So I guess the one with life without parole.
And I guess they just let murderers have access to power tools. I'm still tripping on the power tool part. Right. How does that happen? This is the new justice system has cameras everywhere. There's a lot of isolation, especially for murderers. They don't let them interact much anymore because of the liability of one of them killing somebody else. And
I'm looking for Aaron Hernandez to pull something like this off. Not right now, but he got a lot of time.
Oh, he's so stupid, though.
He's 25, 26. He has a lifetime.
He'll break out of his cell and end up in the cafeteria somewhere. Like he'll only break out and get 20 yards away before they catch him.
Because the amazing thing, sometimes you forget, when you get life at 25, that you really actually spent life in prison. Like,
yeah.
It's not like Jerry Sandusky. That was the thing about Sandusky. I wish, some of those people would have came clean earlier.
Right.
So he would have had to spend his real hard life in prison. By the time he got to prison, he was 70.
Right.
That's all he was going to do anyway.
Sit around and eat bad food. Right. That's all he was going to do with the rest of his life anyway, is just sit still and look out a window. So,
So we're going to go to break. We come back. We're going to start with the NBA. The King is still on the throne. Great game by the Cavs last night. I figured out why people hate LeBron.
Why is it?
We'll talk about when I come back. More of the Sports Joc Show in just a second. 888-926-7562. We'll be back.
Your fairy godmother?
Cinderella's dream comes true because the glass slipper fits.
It fits!
In our world, the right fit can be just as important, especially when it comes to car seats. Always choose a car seat that's the right fit for your child's age and size to make sure your little pumpkin gets there safely every time.
Hop in, dear. Thank you.
For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. This message has been brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ball in street? Girl in street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hello?
Hi, I found your name on the internet. I'm going through a foreclosure. Can you help?
Sure, it's simple. We'll just leverage your transitory expenditures into a fiduciary trust, and we massage those assets before your money goes into my private account.
I don't get it.
If you're facing foreclosure, who should you trust? The Hope Hotline is a free resource connecting you with HUD-approved housing counseling agencies, available 24 hours a day, who can give you the information and clarity you need. Call the Hope Hotline at 888-995-HOPE. That's 888-995-4673. Brought to you by NeighborWorks America and the Ad Council.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy winning the U.S. Open twice, 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 88. Ernie Els encourages you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
So, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
I would talk, but it's just that beat right there is just sick right there. Y'all know I'm telling you that. It's undeniable when that drop in. It's just, you just get that. It just brightens up your day. I don't know why that.
Check it out, Puff. First things first, I pop up freaks, all the honeys, dummies, Playboy bunnies, those want money. Those the ones I like 'cause they don't get Nathan but penetration unless it smells like sanitation. God, my a hot throb, never black, ugly as ever. However, I stay Coochie down to the socks, rings and watch filled with rocks. And my jam knocks in your Mitsubishi. Girl pee-pee when they see me. Now the old creep me in they teepee as I lay down.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. You can only do 12.
We can only 12 bars.
Only 12. You can't do the full 16.
Thank you,
Thank you,
producer. We appreciate that.
We don't want to be Robin Thicke around here.
I swear.
Give you a hard 12. Don't give me the full 16.
Hey, I'm gonna cut it down to 8. I don't even want to pay a portion of the licensing fee. Thank you for catching me in there, because I was finna go all the way into the chorus. One more chance.
Big and small. The game just rewind. Speaking of games rewinding, the first game in the NBA Finals, overtime. The second game, overtime. It's been a thrilling final so far. The Cleveland Cavaliers out in Golden State. Most people probably can't even tell me where Golden State is. They don't actually tell you. I know where it is, but most people have no clue what part of California, even if they even know it's in California, where the Cavs and Golden State are playing. The two biggest stars, no star bigger than LeBron James. Big Kenny, I found people, you hate LeBron because you only watch LeBron to see what he does wrong. You can tell me everything. When I talk to people, they can tell me everything that he did wrong in the game. They can never tell me what he did great in the game. But they can tell you every play that they never tell you when he jumped over 3 people, went behind his back and dunked. But they can tell you that time he turned the ball over. And when you watch something where you only looking for, it's like an inspection at a restaurant or your house. That person can find things because he's not looking at your beautiful mural over here. He's looking to see if something is glued together. Right. And that's why he can come out of there. If he was just coming to look, he could get caught up into how things look and never see the little things. And I see when I watched this game, the first game, Thursday, with about 20 people, and it's commentary every time LeBron catches the ball, whether he should have driven, whether he should have took the jump, should he post up, he should have passed that one. And it's a whole critique of a man who puts up brilliant performances. He's shooting bad percentages because he knows, just like I told people about the Falcons and most teams that are offensive teams, they struggle after about a year or two because it's hard to go in a game and always feel like you got to score 40 points. Think about that. For us to win, Peyton Manning knows I'm going to have to, because my defense is not going to give me any help. And this is the situation that this man is in with his Cavs. Game 1, he scores 44. Kyrie gets hurt. He's had surgery on his kneecap. His second game, he gives you second man in history, 35 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists. Only thing bad was his shooting percentage. Free throws were great, rebounding, everything.
At 39 points, that's a bad shooting percentage?
Well, people kept thinking, well, why? It's like, because without Kyrie, I know I got to take more shots. It's easier to be more efficient, Big Ken. What I'm saying is, just like he was when he was in Miami, he was, 61% for the season? Because I know that I can just go out and give you 25, 27. I can take fewer shots. I can take better shots. But we wonder why AI, even Kobe in some times of his years, where they felt like, well, I'm the only thing offensively out here.
Let me ask you this. Do you think a byproduct of being brilliant is that you're so brilliant that The only time people really see any difference is when you make a mistake. So that's the only thing they can talk about. It's like, wow, it's like being at the strip club and you see the baddest chick you've ever seen, and all of a sudden she does a flip and you go, oh, she got a mole on the base of her neck right there. You know, because you're just looking for something to be wrong because it's so perfect all the time. This dude is so phenomenal on the court that the only thing that becomes a story is when he's not brilliant.
Right.
Most of the other guys are just struggling to look like they belong on the court with him. So if he throws a bad pass out of bounds, then everybody goes, oh, see, everybody called LeBron great. And here he is. He just threw the pass away. But, yeah, this dude just threw the pass away because he was doing a triple somersault with no hands and then passing the ball. So
and probably the greatest thing last night, which, you know, the couple people that text me, I sent back a text of 50 minutes. The man played 50 of the 53 minutes. The man played on the court. More minutes than anybody else on both teams. He played 50 minutes. And you try to figure out why he's tired, because he is the only superstar in the history of the game that has been asked to do so much. He doesn't get a break. We got to squeeze in a minute. We hope that we can sit you over here and they don't come back. And it was just great to see him play. It was great to see the emotion. It was just great to see how you can call athletes out. Because, you know, as soon as Kyrie got hurt, people start saying sweep. They can't win a game. And once again, this man with a band of mystery men, in a sense, goes to Golden State and beats a team.
No Kevin Love.
No Love.
No Kyrie Irving. And those were the pieces that they said they wanted to put around him to get to the championship. The way they're going to win is we get somebody to play with Love and Kyrie. If we get LeBron, we're unstoppable. Both of them are gone, and they're still unstoppable.
3 of the 5 starters that started game 1 of the season, not even in uniform, not even in the stadium for Cleveland.
Let me ask you this. How do you think it affects another great player's legacy like Derrick Rose when he says, I don't want to play so hard all the time because I'm thinking about life after basketball. And LeBron's playing 50 minutes. How does that affect the way people look at a Derrick Rose? Or how will it affect how you look at a Derrick Rose?
I think that's why Chicago, when you see them play, they don't really miss Rose as much. If you ever see them without Rose, they've always been able to still make the playoffs no matter how many games he plays that year. Because I don't think they know he makes them better,
right?
But I don't think that they follow him like LeBron's teammates follow him. And I think that the Matthew Dellavedovas and those type character players do play better, play harder, and play more enthused. I mean, Dellavedova, for all he has little energy in him, he chased Steph Curry to the point he was tired. He walked down the court. Because
maybe
if you watched the game one time, he walked down the court.
Maybe they follow LeBron so closely in Cleveland because when it comes to battle, he the only dude with a stick. So let's stay close to him in case somebody, if they start swinging, I stand a chance of surviving because I'm close to LeBron. I think with a Derrick Rose, some of those other players see themselves as, if he's not here, I can step up and feel most of the gap, if not all of it. I can feel most of the gap. On the Cleveland squad, if LeBron's not on the floor, everybody's looking at each other like, hey, bro, let's just do what we can do. You know what I mean? They're not even really thinking to themselves, I can stop this guy. They're hoping that LeBron can minimize the times he gets the ball. So Steph Curry won't touch the ball a lot because LeBron will have it a lot of times. And they count on him too much.
And it's wearing down, and he gets tired. And you see, once again, the 4 years he was in Miami, he led the team in scoring, rebounds, assists. Same thing here in Cleveland. And he's used to playing. I think that's why he excels at it. He's used to playing with just average team. I think when you look at, most times people do winning with another, Michael Jordan never won a championship without Scottie Pippen. He started winning when Scottie Pippen became his teammate. This man, he has won regardless of whether he had that other guy or not. He showed that the first time in Cleveland. He's showing it again But I want to ask you, Big Kenny, we have that beast mode picture.
Uh-oh.
Did I write that down? Beast mode and Rihanna.
Beast mode just here, boss.
What is this conversation right here? That's Rihanna, the Grammy Award-winning singer, and to her right in all white. If you're looking at the Sports Joc page, that is Marshawn Lynch. How did that conversation go, Big Ken? Give me a little bit of it.
Hey, did you try that beast mode I gave you? Yes, I did, and I am so hot right now. All right, then Shawty hit me up a little bit later, daughter, saying, well, okay, I guess you're gonna be cool, right? Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined. That's pretty. All they talking about is how good the weed was. Look at her face.
It says a whole weed conversation.
It's a whole weed. Look at her face. She's saying,
I tried that new beast mode.
And man, I'm on it right now. And he's looking at her like, what's your name again? Because he on that beast mode and he don't really know.
I think he finally told her, you need to put them little men down and get with a real man, like beast mode.
No,
she ain't used to a beast mode. She used to Chris Brown and them little lovey-dovey, put in your pocket guys.
Trust me, chicks like that, they have a beast mode in their life. He just don't hit the red carpet with them. You know what I'm saying? Because beast mode ain't trying to be in no pictures. Want to go to the party with me? Man, you be tripping. I don't even do that, shouting. Nah, I ain't finna go to no party. So
beast mode always been there.
Yeah, call me after the party, but I ain't finna take no pictures.
You just don't look good on the red carpet.
And she was on some, you act like you don't mess with me no more. That's what the look says. You act like you a stranger to me now. He on some, hey, I'm just here so I'll get fired.
Speaking of strangers, when we come back from break, Caitlin, Brucey, Brucilla, Godzilla. No?
Brucilla, baby.
We'll be back right after this.
Where do you want to go to lunch? I'm having a stroke. Did you hear what I said? I'm having a stroke. Why aren't you answering me? I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, sweetie, what's going on?
Well, honey, I have some news.
Okay, what?
All that training paid off. I got the job.
Oh, I knew you would get it. So when do you start?
When you donate stuff to Goodwill, you help provide job training for people right here in your community. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Adopting a new pet is a rewarding experience. And Shelter Pets makes super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org. This message has been brought to you by the Humane Society of the United States, Maddie's Fund, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy, sitting here with the funny man himself, Big Kenny. Last week, Monday, about an hour after we got off the mics, Bruce Jenner showed back up in public. As he said one day he would, but he would come back as her. We find out that he has decided to call himself with a C, as you see on this Vanity Fair cover. That is the 65-year-old 1976 Olympic decathlon gold medalist, Caitlyn Jenner. Bruce has went and got him some, I guess those would be some C's, full C's. He still has his man part. This has dominated the last 7 days of the media in the sports world. A lot of people have weighed in on this, Big Kenny. My thing is, the first thing that made me confused, Big Kenny, was how do you get to just declare yourself to be her? How do you become her? I don't know the qualifications for a woman, but I thought it was a way to have produced children, a canal to produce children. I didn't know it was that I go buy some breast and then decide that, well, whether you can have kids or not, you still have the canal. So even a barren woman still has the canal for children. But Big Kenny, maybe I'm confused and you can help me out. For all I know is Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner. Only thing different between then and now is he added the top part of the female. Is that right, or did I miss something? And does that make you her now?
First of all, Sports Joc, I'm not surprised that you was a little bit confused because you ain't got the sensitivity and information I got.
Okay.
To speak intelligently on this. Now, see, first he got fun bumps.
Fun bumps.
Yes,
okay.
He got fun bumps, and then that makes you partly a lady. And then he kept the man hoo-ha, and he didn't get the love trench. See, if he'd have got the love trench, then that'd have made him a full woman. But if he walks like a woman and he has the fun bumps, then he's pretty much acceptable in Thailand and other places like that.
But on a serious note, though, how does that come? How are you her now? Why am I deemed to call you her? I understand when just like Ali changed his name, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, there's been people in history that have changed their name. But how do you change your name and then tell me you are her because you take her name?
So as a man thinketh, I suppose. You know, he says he's a woman. He's got some woman parts. He says he wants to be addressed as a woman and acknowledged as a woman, and people are willing to do that for him.
But the guy that dances for the Hawks, the Hawks got they do male dancers.
Right.
They take their shirt off. A lot of them have women tops too.
Right.
They have them. They fat and got that too up front.
Right,
so
right.
that don't make them women do it.
Well, because they don't want to declare themselves as women. Now, two things that was really surprising to me about this is last Monday, like you said, right after we wrapped, I usually go home, I take a nap, I wake up, you had sent me a text and said, here she is. I opened the text, and the first thing that surprised me is I went, damn. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Okay, Caitlyn. But then I had to remember, oh, this is a dude. And then the second thing is that everybody's saying that he was so courageous and this is so brave. He's getting the ESPN Arthur Ashe Courage Award.
Yes.
When people like Little Richard are sitting around like, hold on, I've been open all my life and ain't nobody gave me nothing.
Correct.
You know what I mean? He's been open. RuPaul, Boy George, all of these people didn't have the I was living a lie story. Mm-hmm. They were just themselves. Little Richard was himself back in a time when he could have been murdered and it seemed justified in the 50s and 60s for him to be a man like that. Caitlyn has decided to be a woman only in name. Mm. You know what I mean? She's got the surgery up top. She has woman parts. She's not going to get rid of her.
But that's what I'm trying to say. How are you deeming me to call you her?
Because that's the country we live in now. If you ask someone, they call Kanye Jesus.
But what I'm saying is Chad Ochocinco. Let's go back. We got a lot of examples.
Right.
Before he changed his name, he asked reporters to call him Ochocinco.
And they would.
For a whole year, and they would not.
Right.
So he went and changed his name to Ochocinco.
Right.
So he asked for them to give him that privilege.
Right.
Of what he wanted to be called.
Right.
They did not. This man, who now says that I'm supposed to see him as a woman because he tells me so. And now I'm supposed to, as a person in the broadcast business, adhere basically because he asked.
Well,
because last time I looked, I didn't see a certificate that said that his gender had changed.
This is the difference, though. There's no support group for people who have Spanish numerals in their name. You know what I mean? There's no Ocho Cinco support group. But there is I'm a guy who wants to be called a woman, and that's how you need to address me support system. So us being broadcasters, if we don't acknowledge him as a female, someone is willing to take us to task for that and call us some sort of discriminatory or disrespectful or not willing to let him be who he is. We're boxing him in. All we're saying is, your mama name you Bruce, I'm going to call you Bruce. You know what I mean? And that's how we feel. But the support group that surrounds people who are transgender, who are gay, who are bisexual, who are lesbian, are so strong in their lobby that they can sway public opinion the way that they want to. Now, the fact that he had a lot of fame and notoriety behind him before he did this helps, because now a lot of people see him, maybe he just wants to be regular old Caitlyn, but the support system is coming after him because now you're the voice of our community.
Okay.
You're the person who will be the front man. You're our face.
Okay.
And we're going to say CFA gold medal decathlete can become a woman. We should accept anybody.
Should these people have to identify themselves to other people? I go up to the bar, Caitlyn's in the bar, I go over to talk to Caitlyn. Should Caitlyn be made, should there be law to make her, or whatever you want to call, identify themselves to me?
Absolutely. And I think that
because see, we all these people with this free thought stuff
and this
kills
is my
me
thing.
Because I come over to you, and the first thing a man recognizes to identify you as a woman most of the time is the breast. Well, you have breast, or the face, or the hair. You've done everything from here up to make yourself look like the opposite sex. So for right now, I'm blinded. I'm blinded because why would I think something different?
And I'm on beast mode.
Now, you take it all the way back to my house, to the hotel, and you come out with this presumption that I knew. Next thing you know, I'm in jail for attempted murder. But you sitting there like, well, that person shouldn't have to identify. I believe that anybody, I think if you got HIV and you're trying to do something in a romantic way, it's one thing we're just talking, but if you decide that you want to go romantically with me, you should have to tell that. I think it's the same. That's what I'm saying. It's law. Why isn't this law?
I tell you something, Sports Joc. I have a very close friend, and because he told me this in confidence, I won't mention his name, but he's a military guy. He went to a club, met a young lady. They started hanging out. He had some drinks. She said, let's go back to my place and drink some more. They get to the house. They go to rubbing. He goes to reach for the love trench, and she had a hoo-ha. And when he felt it, he started to, push her off, and she goes, oh, don't stop. We've gone too far to stop now. and he says he was on some, yeah, you right, we done gone too far. And he tears the door off the hinges with this, and has him about to throw him off the second floor, and people are pleading with him, please don't kill him. But my thing was, had he been killed, that was false representation. That's a breach of our contract. Now, if you're so confident being a woman, then be that woman all the time. Don't ease me into anything. There have been, unfortunately, young men who were transgendered killed because they did not share that information with the young man. And then everybody's on some, oh, that's so horrible. You're the type of person, you're just, it's a hate crime. No, that's not a hate crime. That's a I don't like being fooled crime. You know what I mean? If I ask for ribs, don't bring me salmon.
Correct.
I'm just saying this is not what I asked for. This is in our agreement.
And that's all I'm trying to get some distinction of, first of all, as far as women, because this man has just decided that he is a woman. He doesn't, that's just what he's saying. So now we have to say Caitlin, and I got to get used to saying Caitlin and her based on just that he told me this, and not that he's done anything significant. He's not done anything. Basically, he can't go back and take out of his body and go back to being Bruce next year.
And that's assuming that the bumps are real, because there was a chick who had 3 boobs earlier this year, and they were all prosthetic. So that could be just some sort of rubber he's wearing on his chest.
We'll come back. Got a couple of, Clint Eastwood, Snoop Dogg, Drake Bell, a couple other superstars have weighed in on it. That and much more right after the break. 888-926-7562. More of the Sports Joc Show in just a second.
Ugh, look, there's Brody Jenner. God, what a douchebag. I can't believe that came out of Bruce Jenner's vagina.
Bruce Jenner is a man.
No, Brian. That's what the press would have you believe, but he's not. Bruce Jenner is a woman. An elegant, beautiful Dutch woman.
Green light. Hey girl. School zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah. Street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Where do you want to go to lunch? I'm having a stroke. Did you hear what I said? I'm having a stroke. Why aren't you answering me? I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST, F, face drooping, A, arm weakness, S, speech difficulty, T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
There's hundreds of fun and simple things you and your family can do to live a healthier lifestyle. Here's 20 of them. Walk to work, walk the dog, have the dog walk you, take a hike, take a bike, skate, dance, hop, jump, do the Humpty Hump, skip seconds, skip dessert, skip to my loo, don't skip breakfast, drink H2O, lower your sodium, raise the roof, shake your booty, stock up on vegetables, and don't forget to eat them. Search We Can online to find more ways you and your family can get healthy together. A message from the Ad Council, HHS, and NIH's We Can program.
Adopting a new pet is a rewarding experience. And Shelter Pets makes super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a Shelter Pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org. This message has been brought to you by the Humane Society of the United States, Maddie's Fund, and the Ad Council.
When you touch my hand and you talk sweet talk, I get a knocking in my knees and a wobble in my walk, and I'm trembling and I'm shaking. When you take me in your arms and talk romance, my heart starts doing a St. Vitus dance, and I'm panting.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. As we went to break, we had a call on the line. Good morning to you, Roxy. Are you there?
Yes.
Good morning to you. We were talking about Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, and his right to be classified as a woman. What's your stance on this?
I don't think it should be accepted. I think that Michael Jackson got a lot of, ridicule because he was a black man who bleached his skin and started to look white. And people, had jokes, had many things to say. He was crazy. He was this, he was that. This man, Bruce Jenner, has bought breast but hasn't removed his man part. He's not a woman. He's a transsexual. To be a transgender, and correct me if I'm wrong, you actually have to change your gender. You have to have the operation to become a woman. I don't think, from hearing the conversation, it's just come out that he has not removed his man part. So the response I'm giving is based off the information that I've been hearing this morning. Right. But if that is the case and he has not removed his man part, he is still a man with breast. So for the groups that come out of the woodwork and you're discriminatory, you're this, it's a hate crime if something happens to him, or things like that, I think that's unnecessary. The bravery of coming out to say, I think all my life I've been trapped in the wrong body. Okay, and so finally find that point in your life to say, I want to live the way I've always wanted to live. If you've always wanted to live as a woman, you have enough money. Make yourself that. Don't fool people into believing that you are a woman and you're not. It's not right. It's what's the word? I can't think of the word. It's
crazy as hell.
No, it's crazy. Yes, but
false representation.
It's false representation, and the story about your friend going into the bar, thinking he was talking to a lady, and it was actually transsexual. Basically, someone dressed up in good clothes, looking as if he was, but wasn't. I do think that should be disclosed. As far as it being a law, wow. That's a touchy situation because there are people with STDs that don't tell you that they're infected. So, you really have to walk around.
And excuse me, Roxy, but this is Big Kenny. Good morning. Thank you for calling in. I would like to say there are people who have been prosecuted for giving people diseases like AIDS and
absolutely,
HIV.
Absolutely.
So the law is now, even if retroactively, trying to catch up with the times in punishing these people for not having full disclosure. So where now it has been made possible to prosecute somebody under the statute of a hate crime if you assault someone who is gay or transgender or transsexual, they would try and always play the hate crime card when maybe it's just, I don't like surprises, especially surprises like this. If I show up and I'm looking for a female, then you should be required to tell me that you are a female. If you don't, and I hurt you, then that is a reaction in a moment that I can't even predict how I'm going to behave. Now, this is one of the things I want to ask you. You just stated very elegantly and eloquently your opposition to this. Why can't we be vehemently outraged by this situation? How come we can't stand up the same way they go, why don't you go away, homophobe? Why don't you go away, hate crime person? Why can't we stand up and go, man, this is ridiculous. I can't believe that people accept this without being ridiculed.
Because he's white. Point blank simple. Racism still exists. if RuPaul was to come out and say he's a lady now, it's like, oh, you've been in drag all these years, da 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 da. He will get the same type of funk, So it's like I don't know, point blank period, because he's white, and people are reposting him on Instagram. They're so happy for him. They're so they're happy for him, not Caitlyn. Him. I would look him in the face. I would call him Bruce. So Bruce, when do you plan on getting your surgery? That's what I would have my conversations as. Bruce, welcome to the show. How are you today? Oh, have you gotten your surgery? Oh, you go by Caitlyn. Okay, that's fine, but I'm still looking at Bruce. I'm looking at this birth certificate I have here. I got sent over to the office, to the studios. So I'll call you that throughout this interview until you let me know otherwise that you have become a Caitlyn. That's how my conversation would go. I think he has white privilege, and I think people are supporting his coming out, because transgender is something that it's becoming more open. People are becoming more brave because, lesbianism and gayness it's been celebrated. There's pride here. There's pride in, Miami, Atlanta, New York. There's pride so many places, and so many people are celebrating, the LGBT community that, oh, the times are new now. I'm not going to get killed if I walk down the street, when at a time you probably would have. So at a time where it's on the rise, where people are coming out, and Bruce decides to come out, it's celebratory. When
Roxy, you're saying the transgender, transsexual, basically nation is riding the gay and lesbian wave,
and listen,
trying to get their things accomplished.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And to show you how serious this is, I was just informed by one of our listeners that Roxy said he's transgender. No, he's transsexual. He's transsexual. This person says that transsexual is when you have the operation. Transgender is just dressing as another sex. And this is someone from the community.
Okay.
So that's how serious it is. They want it to be specific.
Well, no, it's just that serious because I'm a woman and I've always been a woman, and I'm not into the technical, so I do apologize for those listeners that I have offended.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. You think like a woman who's always been a woman. Everybody's expecting you to know how to address this situation when we've never faced this before. You're a female that has a problem with it, so just imagine how a lot of men feel, and now that they're not able to express their displeasure because they could get in trouble at work, they can get trouble in different places.
I have one more point I want to make. I don't want to keep you guys too long.
Okay.
But I was recently visiting a friend. I was staying in a house with a transgender. I knew once I saw this person's face that it was a transgender. I knew when I heard this person's voice, it was a transgender. From pictures, it's not as noticeable. Their Instagram page, it looks as a woman, okay, not the most beautiful woman, but she can this person.
Hey, but after 3 o'clock, everybody go, Roxy. You know what I mean?
You know what? And that's true. That's true. So for these men who want to go to the bar and be that wasted, you may want to be, able to drive before you say, okay, let's take it in, because that's something that you can easily buy enough drinks and get a couple giggles, but you never really hear the voice. You never really get into conversation to hear that person talk. And you don't really know. This transgender person that I was staying in the house with, there was a man. I was actually invited to a house. It's actually a reality show. I can't disclose the details of the name of it and everything like that. But there was a man in the house. The transgender gave the man, we're assuming that gave the man head. There was a couple of people in the house that heard it, but was not in the room. So the next morning, we're like, oh, my gosh, we have to tell him. I don't think he knew that she's a transgender. Mm-hmm. So the house is freaking out like this guy could actually kill her. And we're like, oh, my gosh, oh, my gosh, oh, my gosh. And then it comes out, maybe he knew. So now we're at maybe he knew, maybe he didn't. So we're walking around eggshells.
Tell me, Roxy, though. Tell me, though. Make sure you
that's what I'm saying.
Set the house on fire. Burn it in the yard. Sports Joc. He's a man, Sports Joc. Yeah, burn it in the grass.
It's so, it was so hard. We started to see the distance because one of the people went back and said, hey, did you know she was transgender? And he was like, don't play with me. We're like, who's playing? And it was like, oh, my God. And I just, at that point, I didn't know. I was fearing for my life. I was looking everyone like I pulled an all-nighter because I didn't want the house to burn down.
And what's surprising to me is a transgender person acts surprised that you're upset. That you were, why are you acting like? Well, because you're a guy, and I thought you were a woman, and and I've never kissed guys before. I've never had sex with a guy, so that's why I'm all upset. Is because you fooled me, and they're acting like, well, no, it ought to be okay because I'm fine with it. You ought to be fine with me being fine with it, and that's just not the reality we live in.
Thank you for calling in, Roxy. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Roxy from Stone Mountain. Because any bill of goods that you buy that come up to be fake, you're mad. Well, if a man sells you a fake Rolex, you're going to go back and be mad. It's the same difference. So,
and now, listen, there's an established reality. If a man sells me a fake Rolex in underground Atlanta on the street, I kind of get what I got coming. So if I'm in Midtown in the Bulldog and I take a woman home, I shouldn't be surprised if it turns out being a man. But if I'm somewhere at a wedding reception and we just hit it off, and we just hit it off, and the next thing you know, I knew it was something I should have said. Well, yeah, you should have said that before we got naked. You know what I mean? And I'm really surprised that Roxy was willing to call in because most women just go along with let them be who they're going to be. But she's obviously very offended by this and was willing to speak out. Most people think it's just men that are offended.
And we do have to do some research to see from the last interview on Diane Sawyer on ABC about 6 weeks ago. In that interview, he said that he had not had a surgery to remove that. I haven't read anything to say that he has, so we're still assuming until somebody tells me differently that he still has his manly parts, and that's our and that's why we are stuck on how does this work. We're gonna go to break when we come back.
We're stuck, but Kris Jenner ain't.
We're gonna go break. We'll be back right after this with more of the Sports Joc Show.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text.
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. So many comments on my comment. Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Mom, what? Huh? What'd you say?
This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You might know me, I'm 50 Cent. You may follow my tweets, my Facebook friends. Odds are a few in 6 degrees separate us. We're that close. What's crazy is 1 in 6 don't know where their next meal is coming from. These are your co-workers, your neighbors, your friends. Hunger's too close for us to ignore. So visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank to see how you can make a difference. From one close friend to another, let's do this. I'm 50 Cent, and together we are Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Go, Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse!
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious. Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh. I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Let me try.
Okay, just remember what I showed you.
Yep. There was a bunny who had one big ear and another big ear. They looped-a-looped, made a bow, and the bunny hopped away. I did it!
Oh, good job, kiddo. Now let's tie your other shoe.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Enough is enough! I have had it!
Why so serious?
And we hold the world ransom for
Wayne Gandy.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Show me.
Broadcasting live from the Armada FM studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. We'd like to thank Roxy from Stone Mountain, Georgia, for calling in. For you that heard Roxy in her comments, you might be surprised that Roxy is a lesbian. I didn't want to share that with you because I didn't want you to listen with jaded ears. We do that in this country. We listen to information, and sometimes based on who's saying the information, we already have decided how the information should be processed. So I just thought I would allow you to see what somebody had to say about that. I do see that I got two producers who feel like nobody should have to disclose their sexuality. Is that not you two? Y'all don't believe that they should make a law to disclose? No. So the man that sells you a lemon shouldn't have to tell you that a lemon car. It's funny, if you go to the car dealership, they don't tell you that excuse me, I'm buying that. You're going to take me, I'm going to find myself in close quarters with you probably, and you're going to surprise me with something that I wasn't into. I wasn't even into that. It's one thing to tell me and I'm into it, but to lead me into something that both of us could end up regretting. See, the thing about having the situation is I'm just trying to stop the murder. Because that's where it's going to end up. No, from most men, it's going to end up physical. When I say murder, I don't mean necessarily the actual killing, but it's going to end up in some kind of physical altercation. But why would I want to end up, why can't I cut that out from the beginning? Why can't it be, I can stop us ending up at the jail, you in the hospital bed, just by being honest up front. Knowing that this is something that somebody might not be comfortable with. Now, it's one thing to meet you at Bulldogs, as Big Kenny was talking about, and it's a different to just meet you at the St. Regis. Same person, different places, I understand, because at Bulldogs, that's what I went there looking for. At the St. Regis, I actually thought you were just a woman. Now we're going up the elevator, you had plenty of time to tell me, and now both of us are going to end up in a regretting situation. And for some of these people, like Bruce Jenner, he might hurt the man. He might end up killing the man that he's in the room with. So I'm not looking at them as an inferior person. They might hurt the person they with. But for most people, when you take your dress off and that falls out, it's not going to be like, oh, man, you should have told me that downstairs. No, I'm not with that, ma'am, sir. We cool. So you make me bought a hotel room for $500 I can't even use. I wouldn't even stay in here. I just took you upstairs. I'm just big with avoiding stuff. I'm big with being upfront. I'm one of them people that believe we all should have a name tag that we just pass to each other so I can know who the hell you are from the beginning. So I already know. We don't have to do this whole song and dance. I'm not with that. And that's just, because it's all fun and game until September roll around and you turn on Entertainment Tonight and somebody has killed somebody. I know if I go beat E.J. Johnson, I know what I'm into. I already know what I'm getting into. But in this case, I'm just trying to figure out how this works. And I'm not trying to say that it puts that person in a different classification. I just like to know who and what I'm dealing with from the jump. And I think we all would like to know that. And when you alter yourself to be something different, maybe you have to disclose that. But Big Kenny, one thing I wanted to know before we go, I wanted to know, and I talked about before the show with Caitlyn Bruce Jenner. Who does she represent he represents when he babysits?
I'm going to answer
Bruce
that
Jenner
question.
Bruce Jenner has like 4 or 5 grandkids.
Right.
Right now he's saying Caitlyn. So is he grandma or grandpa? Or even because I asked about 10 people this question. 10 of them said they wouldn't even let him babysit.
Oh. And look, I'm still stuck on the $500 hotel room. Maybe I'm petty. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking $500. I don't care who it is. I'm on some, hey, baby, can we split this at least? You know what I mean? But
no, I was giving that kind of range.
I know,
because
just because that's
people,
the investment.
That's all it takes.
That's the investment.
That's the thing that goes off in their head. I spent $500. Like that's the thing that clicks with them.
And Sports Joc, check this out. A lot of people say you shouldn't be made by law to disclose that you are actually a man when you're representing yourself as a woman or presenting yourself as a woman. But there have been men who have been taken into court and found liable for false representation for presenting themselves as single men when they were married. Women will take them to court and say, you fooled me. I thought we were going to be in a relationship. I was making plans to get married. I bought this dress. I did all of that. And they get sued, and the man has to pay them some money back because the judge and the system decided that you misrepresented yourself on purpose. Now, I don't know why it should be not the same for someone who misrepresents themselves as far as their gender is concerned. But as far as grandma or granddad, I think the kids already see him as granddaddy because these children, Northwest, Scott's 2 or 3, aren't any more than about 5 or 6 years old. So for that entire
and then you have
6
the ones
years,
from his biological kids
right.
as well.
So for their entire lives, with the limited ability that they have to process information, they've only known granddaddy. Now, when they see him as grandmama, maybe the first time they'll think it's dress up or they'll think he's playing. But then after a while, it becomes confusing to the children. And you can't tell me that it doesn't confuse a kid because you let Disney Junior go from channel 63 to 65 and the kids are confused. So granddaddy come in and he's got this ball gown on and now, you know, he looks a lot more like mom than he's ever looked. That's going to be confusing. And how does he get past that? Does he demand that they call him Caitlyn? Does he just be Bruce in front of them? I don't understand that either.
And we've had a lot of superstars. Clint Eastwood this weekend at the Spike TV's Guys' Choice Awards was introducing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and he said a joke pertaining to Caitlyn Jenner. They're deciding that when they do air the show, they're going to cut that part out because he referenced to Jim Brown and Caitlyn Jenner. Snoop Dogg had an Instagram. Did y'all find that? The Instagram tweet. Snoop, the rapper, had a tweet out about Caitlyn Jenner. Oh, that's Akon. Shout out to Akon. He's about to supply 600 million Africans with solar power. I'm really upset that this isn't major news, but that science project Bruce Jenner is. Here's a picture when your money ain't. Is that what it said? Is that at the bottom?
When your money ain't Bruce Jenner long.
Oh, Bruce Jenner long. Okay.
so you got to piece by piece. Right. You know what I mean? You can't just go Caitlyn. You got to still be. You got to be Bobby from the neck up. You Bobby. And then
I think that's just another example. Like we were talking about not the People's Choice, the ESPY. Is that not what he's up for? And people talking about Courage Award, and they feel like there's 2 or 3 other people that he's in this category with that actually showed courage.
One of them is a former soldier who lost his arm and leg to an IUD, in Iraq. He's got one leg, he's got one arm, and he runs marathons, triathlons, and competes in the tough man competition, and he came in second. And that's all of that is publicity. Because courage, most people couldn't imagine having to live life without a limb, let alone two. And then find the intestinal fortitude to get out and learn how to run on this limb for 26 miles and then bike
all those miles.
and then swim. I don't even know how that works out. But this man came in second. And now keep in mind, the ESPYs, I know because I've worked in television production. The ESPYs did not decide they were going to broadcast when he made this announcement. They had already set the broadcast months ago, probably last year. But he made this announcement last week, and already he wins the award. When did he even get in the voting? When did he even get in the voting? This is another grab for that all-inclusive dollar. If we support Bruce, then everybody will tune in to the ESPYs, and we can charge an extra $2 million per minute.
And for anybody that's uncomfortable with Bruce, either shut your mouth or we're going to blacklist you, basically. Because you're telling the great Clint Eastwood he can't even tell a joke about the situation when to him it's a joke.
Oh, but now Clint Eastwood can openly disrespect the president.
Correct.
In a speech made to the Republican Party. He can disrespect he can disrespect the man who leads our country, and everybody get on TV and congratulate him and celebrate him for that disrespect. But he says something about Bruce Jenner and he gets ostracized and cut. That's the lobby of the LBGT community working their magic.
We'll be back. 888-926-7562. More of the Sports Joc Show right after this.
Packers.
Vikings. We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown. We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full. But when we live united, we make a real difference in the building blocks of life. Children succeed in school, families gain financial stability, the health of our neighbors improves, and suddenly so do our communities. Real change won't happen without you.
Live United.
So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up today at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hey, this is Kate Pearson from the B-52s for RAD. Getting drunk is your own business, but when you drive drunk, you make it everybody's business. Don't drink and drive. Be responsible, plan ahead, and choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Let me try.
Okay, just remember what I showed you.
Yep. There was a bunny who had one big ear and another big ear. They looped-a-looped, made a bow, and the bunny hopped away. I did it!
Oh, good job, kiddo. Now let's tie your other shoe.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This moment of uncontrollable laughter was made possible by a 32-year-old man with little to no coordination attempting to execute a simple cartwheel. His name is Sergeant Warner, but young James, our laughing friend here, simply calls him Dad. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Sure, humans can be a little weird at times, but take it from me, I'm a dog. And a person is about the best thing that can happen to a shelter pet. So if you want to learn how you can be that person, get down to your local pet shelter or visit theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Go, Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse!
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Wow, Jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Oh, hey, guys. Did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh. Didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Enough is enough! I have had it!
Why so serious?
And we hold the world ransom for
Wayne Gandy.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Show me.
Broadcasting live from the Armada FM studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, straight masterpieces. Wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, so pretty.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. Moving on from the Jenner world of TV and radio. I think my producers behind the board are ready for us to move on because they don't think that it's a situation that we should be talking on that long. Why do we want to hear about it? It's because the media put it in our face to talk about it. Just like Snoop said with Akon delivering food to people, or I got a story here about a teacher over in DeKalb County that's been letting people use the classroom closet for sex in middle school. And just like those stories on the back page, Caitlyn was on the front page, so that's the first thing you shoved in my face. Do I care? No. But do I care that the white man in Alaska uses the N-word? No. Does I care that Bobby Joe down the street uses it? No. But every time that's something, it's like people, you can't pick and choose what should be talked about and what can't be talked about. But we seem to be doing that. Kid, 13 years old, him and his friend, 15 years old, pistol whipped another 15-year-old here locally, got no airplay, pistol whipped him to death for $10 and a cell phone. It got no coverage. So why do I care about Caitlyn Jenner? I don't, but that's all they want to talk about. And if I talk about the pistol bra, nobody wants to talk about that today. No, you have to talk about the subjects that they like to talk about, whether you agree with them or not. Just an interesting situation. Glory Johnson, Brittany Griner, both suspended for the first 7 or 8 games of the WNBA season, which kicked off on Friday fully. Here in Atlanta, the Dream have lost their first 2 games, losing Friday to the New York Liberty and yesterday to the Connecticut Suns. Glory Johnson, who plays for Tulsa. Brittany plays for Phoenix, got married about 2 weeks before Memorial Day. Had a ceremony. Brittany had on her tux. Glory had on her dress. 28 days later, Big Kenny, they have filed to get an annulment. Word is that Glory Johnson is pregnant. And I know Brittany Griner has pulled off some amazing things on the court, but I don't think she pulled this off at all, Big Kenny.
She'd like to believe she did, though. She really wanted to be responsible for this one.
So it wasn't one of those questions like, who baby is it?
Right. Are you sure it's mine?
Are you sure it's mine?
No. We don't even have that discussion here.
So as much as she might want to do it, she could not. She has filed for divorce. I don't know if that means she didn't know that Glory was still seeing men. I knew from just the wedding photos that Glory didn't seem like. So I'm trying to figure out, do anybody know, did Glory go get impregnated at a clinic, or did a man do this deed? Anybody knows that? I just want to make sure. 'Cause as far as I know, a man did the deed. Which is
I would
why
imagine if it were
Brittany is surprised and she is divorced. That's what I'm figuring. It must not have been.
Yeah, I mean, because if they had decided together to go to the clinic, then
Right.
I don't think Brittany would have any.
But if you go
leg
back and
to
look at
stand
the,
on.
if you go back and look at the wedding pictures, you could tell Glory in her beautiful gown really envisioned herself as a woman. I mean, it wasn't one of those both of us show up in some cargo pants and that flannel that they tuck in with the moccasins, or what is
Right.
those shoes they have on? The mountain climbing shoes they love. It's like a staple of the lesbian community. Y'all don't know the shoe I'm talking about?
Like hiking boots.
Yeah, what are they called? Yeah, them shoes. See, always look like they're going bird watching or something. Hey, I'm just trying to
bird watching.
But in this case, 29 days, Big Kenny. They had a big fight.
I thought they were. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm gonna just let it go. See, responsibility and maturity is knowing sometimes when to just let it go.
But in this case, just 30 days of marriage. They had a big fight maybe 2 or 3 weeks before they got married. Brittany even has gone on record saying that she didn't want to go through with it. She just didn't know how to get out of it. She should have took a page from Richard Jefferson, who got to the altar and basically left the lady at the altar and they gave her a check like, look, hey, I don't want to do this. Here's some money. Y'all don't remember when Richard Jefferson did that?
I don't.
Oh, y'all don't?
That's hilarious. And
the NBA player, Richard Jefferson.
Why isn't he getting a Courage Award? That's who needs one.
Richard Jefferson used to play with Jason Kidd and Vince Carter when they went to the finals with the Nets. I think he plays in Dallas now. Richard Jefferson.
Outstanding.
That was the story. Everybody's at the church. Richard Jefferson just didn't show up. He was like, nah, I can't do it. Gave us some money, though, for a time.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he left the building. So, Big Kenny, marriage is hard.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm quite sure it's even harder when you're in a marriage of the same sex and you find out that one of the people still dabbles in the other area. Is that correct?
Yeah, marriage, first of all, is not just hard. It's the hardest job in the world. I don't care what you do for your occupation. You could be a razor blade taste tester, and that's still, it's still not harder than marriage. I think what happened here is these people let public perception move them in a direction that they weren't ready to go. Mm-hmm. They got into the little fight. Now Brittany may have been on her we need to stick together more than ever now. You know what I'm saying? She's saying that she didn't want to get married, but if you don't want to get married, it's as simple as saying, hey, I don't want to get married. And they could have just let it go. Now, I'm wondering if Glory got pregnant in the last 29 days and they found out, or if she was pregnant when she got married, because both are grounds for an annulment. But, Brittany, do you not like kids? How did you think you were going to get children? By going to the clinic? Maybe she wants a natural child. Maybe she wants a natural child birth. So.
And what do you think the gentleman that got Glory pregnant thought about if she was pregnant beforehand, her going to get married?
He may have had the discussion with her. Are you really sure you want to do this? Because this ain't you all the time. I mean, you might dabble. You might like men and women, but you definitely like men. There's nothing like getting pregnant to indicate that you like men. You know what I'm saying? That's a pretty strong indicator that you kind of like guys getting pregnant. So she still likes, and infidelity within the first month of marriage is devastating no matter what kind of relationship you have. The last thing you want to think is, wow, we ain't even got the wedding pictures back. And you already sleeping with somebody else. So I'm sure it's devastating either way. But I think a lot of this was, once again, like we said about the Caitlyn effect, it's the in thing now. So we're going to champion. A lot of people around them may have been pushing them, hey, you're going to be the face of same-sex marriage. Two professional athletes at the top of their game. You're going to get married, and now it's going to be acceptable, and everything will be beautiful.
And the thing, too, that the dynamic that a lot of people haven't thought about, Brittany Griner is, in terms like we say alpha male, she's an alpha female. Glory Johnson is a alpha female. I don't know if two alphas of any gender can really stand, because Glory is the top person on her team.
Right.
Brittany is the top. That's how I know you alpha.
Yeah, well,
because you're leading
Glory
the pack.
Glory went a little farther down in the alphabet to D. You know what I mean? She decided to go with D.
And I think I think that was evident when we heard about the altercation. It was a fight between them. Not no Brittany beat me up, because people forget. Now Brittany is 6'7", 6'8", but Glory about 6'5".
Right.
So it wasn't an uneven fight. It wasn't one of those, how Brittany beat up the little girl.
Do you think it may have been about her seeing a man?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they were supposed to have just, that'll be our little spat. Let's just get past this and live happily ever after. But then Glory's still holding a secret.
Yeah, she wanted to know why was Russell Westbrook name popping up in the phone all the time. I thought you just said you was at his charity event.
Right.
I didn't know you was charity event. It was something like that, and I think they probably got in a fight at the bar, because of that. Because Brittany is dedicated to whatever she's doing. She wants to convince you she was never a female in her sense. She might be the first Caitlyn Jenner, but in this case, Glory, being pregnant, says she's keeping the baby,
and that is very big in the lesbian community. Is they get very upset that you're still dealing with men. Why would you still deal with a man? How could you do this to me? Kind of thing. I mean, I don't know if they even get as upset if you were dealing with another female, but stepping outside the relationship with a man is the cardinal sin that they just really, really freak
and maybe they
out
should
about.
be upfront about that too. Maybe they should be able to have you had involvement, because that lets me know I have to look at the whole club. I can't just look at the females in here.
Right,
I need to look at everybody.
When was the last time? Well, what time is it now?
But 28 days, the shortest. That's the shortest sports wedding I've ever. I mean, marriage. I've
Place
ever
a bet on who the daddy is. Who the baby daddy?
I'm gonna go with James Harden.
I was thinking the same thing. I was hoping you to say somebody else.
The beard getting around, man. We'll be back with more of the Sports Talk Show in just a second.
Remember when your neighbor found us naked in the car, and the time some outdoor action got us kicked out of the park? Getting frisky in the dark, I gave your eye a poke. I think the dog is also in the bed. Do I smell smoke? You and me, we never give up, you and me. We never ever ever give up. Getting hot and heavy with the whipped cream that we bought, undressing in the kitchen and then getting caught. So many things can go wrong, but we still can get it right. You and me, we're not gonna give up tonight.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Visit bedsider.org to compare all the choices and put the bogus myths to bed at bedsider.org.
Boy, we got options tonight.
Brought to you by Bedsider and the Ad Council. Bedsider.org.
Packers. Vikings. We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown. We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full. But when we live united, we make a real difference in the building blocks of life. Children succeed in school, families gain financial stability, the health of our neighbors improves, and suddenly so do our communities. Real change won't happen without you.
Live United.
So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up today at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I know more about cooking dinner for a party of 12 than about packing a lunch for a 12-year-old. I know kids like things like fish sticks. Fillets, I get, but sticks? Maybe we can just compromise on mac and cheese. Can you make that with Brie?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit adoptuskids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
You know that the ice cream scoop can make a child smile, and that by slowing us down, the traffic light can keep us going. You know that the lawnmower makes life easier, that the blood bank makes life possible. But did you know all these ideas came from the minds of African Americans? Support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Visit uncf.org or call 1-800-332-UNCF. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So I can't sleep at night.
No, not him.
You really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, you really got me now.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. The French Open has been open and closed. The 2 weeks of tennis on the clay surface is over. If you missed these finals between Stan Wawrinka and Novak Djokovic yesterday, what a thrilling moment for someone coming out of the eighth spot to beat the world's number one. If you watch the first set, the robot, that's what I call Djokovic, because he seems like he might be a programmable Terminator. I mean, everything about him is so stoic and efficient. Was taking it to Stan, but Stan came back and really showed the heart of a champion, winning the next 3 sets.
I'm thinking about which Rocky was it, 5 or 6 with Ivan Drago? How they had him. He was like the machine, and he was all about science. Yeah,
and that's just how Novak looked if you see him out there. But it was a great match on the men's side. It's Wawrinka's second major in his career. Speaking of majors, on the female side, Serena Williams, who played basically semifinals and the finals under the weather, I think more in the semifinals than the finals, winning her 20th, which puts her about 2 behind Steffi Graf and about 3 behind all-time. They got those all-time, like when they first invented tennis, those people back in the 1800s,
right?
That won, like they was only playing their sister,
right,
every match. But
right.
And that go back to that last shot. If you had saw this, Big King, I don't know if you saw the match.
I was watching, but I ain't seen no tennis. You know what I mean?
Serena actually hits this shot back left-handed with a left-handed forehand. So she usually hits right. She actually, instead of trying to run all the way to the ball, switched the racket to the left hand and hit the ball back and just legitimize how great of a player she is. You people that like to bash her immediately after the –
I would love to bash her.
I mean, immediately after the match.
Did I say that out loud?
With all the comments about she is built because that is her job. She wants to be great.
Can we show the picture of her sitting on the bench?
But people kill me, Big Kenny, with all their criticism. And I think that might be something that is taken away from the sport to me, Big Kenny, where you're missing the greatness. There's 2 or 3 people in your window right now that are going to go on the greatest list of all time, but all you seem to be want to do is chip away at what they don't do right. People like the Mamba, LeBron, Serena. We're not talking about like a good tennis player. We're talking about somebody that arguably will be considered the greatest, will be our Ali of our time. And that's how efficient she was yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, Saturday morning. I had to wake up at 9 to watch the match.
If we could just look at this picture for a second, where she's sitting in the locker room, no shoes on. She's got a trophy with her. I mean, I don't have a comment about it. I just like looking at her with no shoes on and her legs out like that. But Sports Joc, I do believe a great deal of what makes people like the Mambas, the LeBrons, and the Serenas much maligned is not only are they good, but they're unapologetic for how they feel. They're unapologetic for saying, I want to win. They're unapologetic for being driven. If they make a misstep in what you consider is political correctness, they're on some deal with it. You know what I mean? Kobe's never shied away from controversy. LeBron, he proves it every night on the court. He tries to be a nice guy in other places, but he has shown you that he's going to look after LeBron and LeBron's interest.
Yes.
So I'm not going to let you control me. Serena and Venus both from the time they first entered the
20 years
USTA.
ago.
Right. People have been coming at them sideways, and they just hate to see them continue to win and not feel like they owe their success to some outside force. Just because you like me doesn't mean I have to dress like you want me to or wear my hair that way. I can be me and still whoop you handily in my sport.
And Americans, you need to stand up and applaud Serena anyway.
Yes, Lord.
In the tennis world at the moment and for the last couple of years, she is all we've had.
That's all we need. Jesus.
She is all we have had on both sides, of this.
Oh, Serena on both sides. Yes, Jesus. Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
So she has been American tennis. She is the face. She is the person who keeps us relevant, because after her, it's all outside of our country that dominates the world of tennis right now. And just watching her play is just a magical moment. Absorb it, because she's 33. She'll be 34 in August. You probably only have about, I'll give her about 18 months. I figure by the time she hits 35, she's going to hit y'all. I can see her in August of 2016 at the end of that U.S. Open saluting you, and you're going to be on mist. I think especially if she gets that championship, if she gets that grand major title,
right?
I think she'll walk away. I think that's what's keeping her motivated. I'm so close. I'm two or three away. Another 5 or 6 attempts, how she's playing, she should win.
And I think a great deal of what it is a lot of people are missing the fact that she is 35 years old.
33 right now.
33
right?
And playing at this level. She did come back from an injury that severed the muscle in her foot. A lot of people, sprain a muscle and don't come back to that level. She took a whole year off, had to come back and recondition herself, and now she's back at the top of the sport. And people, because it happens so often, are just looking at it, she won again.
And the thing, before we move on, some of you watch these matches and you're trying to figure out why they do all that cursing and they do all that yelling to themselves. That's their interpretation of the coach. That's in the individual sport like that. See, as a football player, as a basketball player, during the timeout, that's what the coach comes and says to the player.
Right.
So for a tennis player, they have to basically curse themselves out.
Right.
Because there's nobody else out there to do it for them. So
right.
If you go and you hear Serena and watch her, she's saying, what the F are you doing? She's being her own coach and basically cursing herself out. Because tennis players don't get coaches, and they're 3 or 4 rows up.
Right.
They might get a little eye contact, but
he can't really interfere.
He or she can't do anything on the court, and you see it whether it's an American or a Russian or wherever, Spanish. They all do the same thing especially when they get behind.
Right.
They start trying to yell at themselves, hoping that gets them going, and it was just a great comeback for her.
Can we see a picture of Serena just one more time? I know it. I know we ain't got no story, no lead in to go with it.
No,
it's
we
just
don't.
That's a fantastic specimen of a woman right there. Thank you, Serena. We appreciate you, baby.
The mediocre producer wants to know, you said she's playing amazing for her age. Does she have the personality to stop while she's ahead? I don't think she's going to have to make that. I think that she is 2 majors away from tying the record. I think when she gets the record, she will walk away. I think that I think Venus only is just playing until she walks away. I just think they're probably going to leave together. People keep saying Venus needs to leave, and Venus probably knows Venus needs to leave. But hey, since I'm going to travel to Paris anyway with Serena, I might as well get out here and hit a couple balls. Oh, we're going to Europe. We're going to Russia. Okay, let's go over here and play. If we're going to take the trip anyway, she's going to go where her sister goes. They're a combination. They're that close. Venus's greatness is that she is the one who ran through the door first. Now, and the dad always said that. He said, he always said Serena was going to be greater than Venus, but he said Venus had to have the courage to go first and take all the criticism before Serena showed up. And I think that's why you see such sisterly love. If I was Venus, I'd just play doubles and make some money.
Well, you speak about the mediocre producer asked, does she have the personality to quit while she's ahead? When you're ahead, is your concern really quitting? You know what I'm saying? Your concern mostly is who's going to stop me. Right. Now, if she gets to a point where she feels like there's no more advancement, but if she looks at the field in front of her and thinks, I got this, I can be iconic, I can be the best that there's ever been, then that's a driving force. And a lot of people aren't into winning enough. There is no enough winning. I want to dominate. So until someone can stop her, she'll play until she gets whatever she's striving for, and then she'll walk away.
Yeah, I think that she just an injury would send her to retirement quicker. But other than that, I don't see anybody. If she shows up to play, she wins. It's as simple as that. She has all the weapons to beat you.
Yes, she does.
She gets in trouble in her serve. It's just amazing. And it's a great thing, too, to know, well, I'm down, but so now I just serve myself out of this. I just boom, boom, boom. Right. Okay, I'm back in it. And that's the kind of player she is. And I know the United States of America, as the USTA, they're hoping she sticks around long enough. There you go, Big Kenny. I think they hope she stays around long enough that the Sloane Stephens and the younger players are able to come around and pick up the slack.
What'd you say, Sports Joc? I'm sorry. It sounded like it was real important, too, but I was
telling you that your mom was outside and she waiting on you to come out.
She'll be all right. My mama know her baby boy. You know what I mean? She'd understand.
We'll be back with more of the Sports Joc Show right after this.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
So, I'm a dog, and I just got adopted by this new human guy, and I'm starting to wonder how he got along without me. Something as simple as walking around the block. He's got this leash thing, and he puts me on one end and him on the other, and I'm just taking him around. I think he's afraid of getting lost. Without that leash and me guiding him along, I don't think he'd find his way back home. But it's kind of cute.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Nurse, set up an IV. And you, her boyfriend, you were the driver?
Yes, doctor, but I didn't mean to hurt her. I only had a few drinks. I was just buzzed.
Just buzzed? Oh, then your girlfriend is fine.
Hey, sweetie. I feel great.
She's really okay?
What, are you kidding? No, not really. Nurse, get me a suture kit. Stat.
Buzzed driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Would your business survive a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the American Red Cross, and the Ad Council.
Welcome to today's lottery drawing. And today's winning numbers are not yours, not yours, and another number that's not yours. And the final number is not yours.
When it comes to having money, don't rely on luck. Brew your own coffee at home instead of buying that latte. Brown bag it to work instead of ordering it. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Honey, bring it close to my lips, yeah. Honey, bring it close to my honey, bring it close to my lips, yeah. Honey, bring it close to my honey, bring it close to my lips, yeah. Honey, bring it close to my honey, bring it close to my lips, yeah. Honey, bring it close to my honey, bring it close to my lips, yeah. Honey, bring it close to my honey, bring it close to my lips, yeah. Honey, bring it close to my
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. What are they saying? The honey baked ham? What is it? Honey baked toast? Honey, bring it close to my. Wow. Man, I tell you, I thought it was about a honey baked ham.
Same thing. Same thing.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. Before we talk about the NFL, Big Kenny was talking about, do I see any of the things that our earlier caller, Roxy, as far as Serena and her career? I think, Big Kenny, if I was going to say something about Serena, it would have been nice for another American other than her sister to create a rivalry.
Right.
I think like Jimmy Connor had Jim McEnroe, right. Sampras had Agassi. You need that kind of rivalry. She had her sister, which always made for great matches, but it would have been good to see another American that you was hoping. You know how you're hoping somebody end up playing each other.
Well,
when it all shakes out.
If they had been good enough, they could have. You know what I mean? They only played each other because they beat everybody else they
right.
played.
Right.
And that's the thing. It's like a LeBron thing. Everybody really hates the guy
right.
on top. So
yeah. So I just think that would have been the only thing she never had was that American that brought that rivalry.
Well, and my question was also
where her name was linked to somebody other than her sister.
Right. Because I was asking, Roxy was saying that she thought a lot of what Bruce Jenner was benefiting from was white privilege. And Serena being the 20-time Grand Slam champion, I don't see her on any Wheaties boxes. She's not on any McDonald's commercials. I mean, Johnny Manziel wasn't even drafted, and he was in a McDonald's commercial. Serena has been playing at the high level for 20 years, right. and I don't see her on anything.
Right. Well, I think some of that has come and gone, and I think the advertisers, especially on that side, that's the only person they've had to really sell you.
Right.
When you think about it.
Oh, I wish I could buy them. I'm serious. I wish they'd be like, hey, look, $85, shout. You know what I mean? I'd be scraping up money.
Some NFL news and notes from last week. Interesting story out of New England with Brandon Spikes. Possibly, they're still working out the details in this. The police officer found his car in the medium, Maybach, that looked like it had been in an accident. Nobody was in it. There was a car maybe half a mile down the road that seemed like it had been hit. It was some people in that. So I know the Patriots have released him. So basically, I think Brandon, it was a hit and run, but he left the car. What is that called? A hit and walk?
A hit and trot really briskly, I guess. I'm not sure.
This happened over the weekend. Brandon Spikes just got back with the New England Patriots, and I just think that more details of this will come out, but I think that is the whole gist of the thing, that it was a 51-year-old man, 13-year-old woman, 12-year-old boy that were in another car. So it seems like, from what I read, Brandon must have hit them, left the car, which probably means that he was intoxicated. And there's a picture of the car, which I don't understand. I know your thought process.
It looks like a lot of significant damage.
I don't want the police to get here and think that I'm drunk, but what else would it be? Why'd you leave the car? We just saw that with the MMA boxer down in Texas. Oh, that's the other car right there that the other 3 passengers were in. So the Patriots, who already have enough scrutiny, and if you're going to play with New England, you should already know they're going to be quick to the trigger. It ain't going to take much. They got enough heat with Aaron Hernandez.
I was about to say, they ain't the only ones quick with the trigger. All the players are, too.
Our man Cam Newton of the Panthers signed a big deal extension with the Panthers. I knew that was going to happen. You always want to hold on to a big name like Cam as long as you can when you're in a small market like the Panthers are. Story out of Washington, Jamison Crowder. Got that picture? He's a wide receiver for the Redskins. He posted an Instagram or tweet. I guess that's Instagram right there. This was on his page. Now, this young lady is supposedly his girlfriend. I don't know if she took the pictures and posted it, but the police are investigating to what happened. These pictures make you think domestic violence, which, that means he's probably going to be kicked out. Oh, they're saying that it was an old domestic violence case where he beat his
I beat up
3
a long
years ago.
time ago, bro.
So these old, why y'all bringing up old stuff? But this was 3 years ago. Maybe that'd be a good defense. I don't know how that's going to work, but he seems to be in a little hot water with that. And our man Adrian Peterson was back on the field last week in Minnesota. They say he looks like he's in great shape. He has a year off. He's 30 years old. A lot of speculation that he did not want to go back to Minnesota. He was out of football last year. For you that don't know, basically they prosecuted him for child abuse. He spanked his son, and he was set out last year. He was paid 15 of the 16 weeks. So don't cry for him too much, but now he's back in a uniform for the Vikings. Why you say?
I'm just saying he whoops his son, and they charge him with child abuse. Meanwhile, Kendall Jenner can run around with Tiger, like that ain't abusive. You know what I mean? Like that just amazes me that some stuff people get involved in when there. I mean, there was, what are you supposed to do? Just let your kids do what they want?
I think that's some people's feeling on how you raise children, is let them go free range. But Adrian Peterson says that's not his way, so he took it upon himself to make sure his little son knew that. One of my teammates, ex-lineman with the Saints, played with me at the Saints, Charles Bentley, decided to let Kyrie know, hey, take your time, heal yourself. Me and LaCharles were teammates for 3 years down with the Saints. LaCharles went to Cleveland where he messed his knee up. That is a picture of LaCharles' knee after all the surgeries he had. He's a Cleveland native, but he wanted Kyrie to know that's where his dislocated kneecap. I can't really tell you where his kneecap is in that picture, but he was a teammate of mine. He actually played offensive guard.
That's not center. His elbow?
No, that's his knee.
I thought that was the top, like his tricep or something like that. That's actually his knee?
That is his. The bottom is his calf, and right there in the middle is where his kneecap is supposed to be.
It looks like a swollen finger.
He had to retire from this injury, as you probably expected. But it started off as one thing. They kept saying it was a bad case of tendonitis. A few weeks later, it ended up with him having some kind of patella tendon tear, ended up with staph infection. Basically, once he left and went to Cleveland, I came to Atlanta to play. He never played again. After a couple of games with Cleveland, he had to retire, and I would have said he was probably 27 when that happened.
And the NFL still flying him down to Orlando
and coach
four times a week.
Yeah, you're going to have to be missing more than that to get their money. As I told you.
So an absent kneecap ain't enough?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, we're going to need something else. Bone marrow. No, he's probably getting full benefits for that. The staph infection period probably got him that. But Kyrie, I'm quite sure will take his time and make sure that he gets back on the field. On the court next year for the Browns.
Let me ask you something.
Cavs. Got all these Cleveland teams in my head. Cavs, Indians.
A Kyrie may be given the luxury of taking his time to come back. Do you think there's more pressure on the LeBrons and the D-Rose if they get injured? Somebody, a coach is in, or the GM is going, okay, yeah, I know you lost a kneecap, but, there's an experimental thing going over in Europe. We can get you back, and we need you. Do you think they go through that?
I think basketball players and baseball players get a little more leeway when it comes to injuries because football field is supposed to be this place where it's accepted that the only day you're going to feel good is driving into training camp.
Right.
That's the last day I'm going to feel normal. From that day until I retire, basically, I'm going to be in pain. And in other sports, you see those guys are able to even come back and test and then go back out for another 2 weeks. Whereas in football, they expect, oh, that's all? Let's tape it up, put a brace on it, and keep going.
Right.
So I think they have a little less pressure to perform and even get applauded. So a football player playing with what Kyrie had, like his foot, it's a regular Sunday. Like
football players be out there with actual casts on their arms and legs, still tackling people.
Yeah, so in basketball, you actually get trophies and stuff for that, for leadership and heart. For us, it's just a part of the game. You have to actually be blind or something to.
In football, they call guys who get trophies for leadership and heart fans. That's pretty much it.
Hopefully Kyrie gets well. But when we come back in the next hour, we're going to talk a little baseball, also talk about weigh-ins. Interesting that you can weigh in at one weight and fight at another weight but get crowned for the first weight. We'll talk about that and much more in the next hour. 888-926-7562. The Sports Joc, that's JOC.com.
Would your business survive a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the American Red Cross, and the Ad Council.
Chris, you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
There's your comic book collection, the race car bed.
I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I'm taking control over my financial life, and that feels pretty grown-up to me.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Are those footy pajamas?
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Oh! You are round MVP. Yeah, man. Yo, Drew, I finally got round MVP. Round MVP.
No way. That was some ownage.
Finally earning round MVP takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I know more about cooking dinner for a party of 12 than about packing a lunch for a 12-year-old. I know kids like things like fish sticks. Fillets, I get, but sticks? Maybe we can just compromise on mac and cheese. Can you make that with Brie?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit adoptuskids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Nurse, set up an IV. And you, her boyfriend, you were the driver?
Yes, doctor, but I didn't mean to hurt her. I only had a few drinks. I was just buzzed.
Just buzzed? Oh, then your girlfriend is fine.
Hey, sweetie. I feel great.
She's really okay?
What, are you kidding? No, not really. Nurse, get me a suture kit. Stat.
Buzzed driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Chris, you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
There's your comic book collection, the race car bed.
I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I'm taking control over my financial life, and that feels pretty grown up to me.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Are those footy pajamas?
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Enough is enough! I have had it!
Why so serious?
And we hold the world ransom for
Wayne Gandy.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Show me.
Broadcasting live from the Armada FM studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Everybody's heard about the bird.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. It is 11. We are live here till noon. Me and the funny man, Big Kenny. We have hashed out Caitlyn Jenner. Funny that he spells it with a C instead of K. He know he wanted to be the full name. Go ahead on and join the Ks, all the Ks. KKKK. I'm trying to tell you, the man just saw the other women in his family and started admiring how they were living and wanted to get in, you know? He just wanted to get in the car with him. That's why. He wanted to get that same reaction. Tired of going into Chanel and not being able to buy nothing. He wanted to just get in on the fun. I don't know if you think it's more fun being a man or a woman? What seems to have more fun? Women, because they get to live free? No? Huh? He's rich even. What does rich have to do anything with it? No. You can be happy. You can be happy and poor. I was happy with no money.
When was that? When you were 6?
No. No, I've been equally. I've lived on both sides of the river, thank God. Wouldn't change it. I would rather be poor and rich than always be rich. It gives you no appreciation. That is true. You have no appreciation. It's better to work your way up to some money than to always have money. That's how I believe. Well, if you start poor and you stay poor, you're a bum. That's all. You should find a way to find you something. Because now poor is relative. Some of y'all got poor in the wrong category. Because some of you really do have money, but you don't have the money that you want. So you have constituted that you poor. Because you can't fly with Kanye and wear the new Yeezys, so now all of a sudden you poor. And that's not actually poor. That's not poor. Poor is that you don't even have a dream of flying with Yeezys. Y'all people just, y'all got money. You just want to live another life. I don't want to live another life. I want to live the life I'm living, right, Big Kenny? Yeah. I'll take Big Kenny hand any day. You doing all right? Got AC?
It's interesting you said that. I remember sitting around with some friends of mine, and they were all on their brand new widescreen phones. You know what I mean? He's polishing up the rims on his car, right. And making plans to go to the strip club tonight while he blowing some loud, and he talking about how broke he is, and I'm like, bro, broke people don't have rims. Right. You know what I'm saying? They just don't own rims. It's not even anything on their to-do list.
Right.
Go get me some rims. They are thinking basic necessities. Okay, I'm going to go with some running water this month. You know what I mean? I'm going running water and some food, and that's where we tap out.
And I
we
think
tap out at running water and food.
iPhone 6 in your hand doesn't
Really
make you poor.
you're not poor.
You just want to live another life.
Right.
Because you're laughing at me because I got a flip phone, but I don't send internet, Instagram, and all that stuff. But it's relative. I just think that rich has gotten way too. Rich seems to be wealthy. Like people have this, to me, if you can bring in an income that can take care of you and your responsibilities, you are doing your job. You're rich.
Right.
Now, if what you're making doesn't get you to be on a private plane, then that's not necessary. That's another type life. But sometimes I think we kind of have that lottery commercial.
Right.
Where the people win $15 million.
15
and they act like they're having hardship.
Right.
Because how are we going to live with just this $15 million? And it's like,
we're going to have to cancel the cable.
And that's how the world seems to be thinking about, like, oh.
Well, and I agree with you. I have a lot of friends who work very hard every single day, all day. And I live the same life or better, cracking jokes, you know what I'm saying? And I never really want to get into the whole who loves their job debate because everybody goes, oh, you only love your job so much. And I always go, well, I love what I do. And it may not be fly with Jesus money, but I'm not sleeping under a bridge. You know what I mean? Right. So a lot of people just covet what other people have.
And that seems to be the new thing. Yeah. We weigh and measure what we have based on somebody else.
But you used
compared to that, we're all broke. We all can find a whole bunch of lists of people.
But you used to didn't get a chance to see everybody you're broker than on a time feed. You know what I'm saying? You go to Instagram and you follow 20 people and 19 of them are posing in front of Benzes with stacks of money and jewelry. And then here you are with Taco Bell Grande, you know what I mean? And you got your little picture with your little nachos and your $5 drink special. And you're thinking, wow, I want to be that dude, not knowing that this dude goes from car lot to car lot, just posing in front of different cars with fake money. So
all the time. To make yourself look like taking pictures of other people's plates at the restaurant and not even ordering that.
Yeah, you're not even in the restaurant. You're just searching pictures of restaurant food.
Oh man, UAB football will be back in 2016. Most of the players are gone. They have transferred to other schools, but they have decided to bring back the Blazers of UAB and the football team. Coach Bill Clark and his staff, who are still there, will start recruiting, but overwhelming support to bring back the program. Almost $20 million in donations to kickstart it again. I think that most of us did not agree with this move, especially with basically the board of Alabama being basically who runs UAB football, and you figure that the 9-pool facility could be missing one pool and help the UAB team stay afloat, right? I mean,
I mean,
I don't know if y'all needed 12 60-inch screens in the locker room. Just donate one to UAB.
What's that a screen per player? You know what I mean? That is ridiculous. But now I ask you, most of these players have transferred somewhere else. When will the football program pick back up? For 2015, or are they going to have to rebuild and then come back and officially launch?
I think they will officially kind of they won't start. I don't think they're planning to play in 2016. I think that's when they will start the whole process over again. Kind of how Kennesaw State, this will be. Kennesaw State here in Georgia will start their football program, but they've been in motion about 3 or 4 years now.
I think part of UAB's problem was that they hadn't really been playing before either. You know what I mean?
Hey, Roddy White to take offense to that.
Hey, but he's in the NFL now. You know what I'm saying? Take offense and donate some of them dollars, Roddy. You know what I mean? Because everybody's talking about the programs coming back. It takes at least 2-3 years to get a program where you go out and you recruit, you get these people to actually commit and then sign with your school. And think about the effect it has on recruiting when y'all might not be around by the time I'm a senior. because it happened to the last.
And sometimes it helps, though, because sometimes you get to really flush out the old and get things in the right order. Okay. And sometimes the other stuff other than the players is what's messed up.
The fact that Alabama runs the UAB program. That might be a problem.
Yeah, you get to retool the stuff that really was always wrong. It really, that never got you the players that you needed.
And they're sitting at Alabama like, so do we want to give UAB 8 scholarships, or do we really want that kaleidoscope waterfall? I'm thinking morale of the team. Let's go kaleidoscope waterfall.
Oh, E.J. Johnson had a birthday last week. We're going to talk about other birthdays in a second. Magic and Cookie took him out to dinner. Let's see what Magic had to say.
Family. The whole family's here.
All right, here we go.
You guys look great.
It's his birthday today, so you guys got to say happy birthday.
EJ's birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear EJ. Happy birthday to you.
That's EJ in the middle, if you didn't know, and that's EJ. He liked to wear his short shorts right there, Big Kenny. He's styling and profiling. Did I not tell y'all he lost weight so he could wear them clothes? Y'all thought I was lying. EJ is giving it to them. I mean, he got on like a 4-inch heel. He's already like 6'5", and now he's wearing a 4-inch heel.
Right.
He got a Birkin bag, and like he might have did a little.
That's a keen eye, Sports Joc, that you are able to look at the picture from across the room and be like, "Oh, Birkin bag, honey." Oh, and I'm sitting here like, "How did you know?"
But I don't know if that's a Birkin bag because I'm just making up stuff. But I'm figuring it's EJ, so he probably got something like that.
But those do look like Giuseppe shoes, so I'm not. I'm not judging. You understand?
He got his sachet going, and he's just doing all kind of wrong right there. But that's Magic Johnson's son, and Magic said, y'all got to sing happy birthday. He just glowed in the back. Look at Daddy saying happy birthday to me.
Yeah.
Him and Cookie, but E.J. Johnson. Can't wait to see how. What is E.J., 20? What is I got him down? I had his birthday right here somewhere. E.J. Johnson, 23rd birthday last week. Looks a little older than that. Other birthdays last week, real quick before we go to break. Rafael Nadal, 29. The Hawks, Al Horford, 29 as well. Mark Wahlberg, 44. Anna Kournikova, 34. Abby Wambach, 35. L.A. Reid, 59. Fetty Wap, 25. That's the blind rapper.
The one-eyed
Russell Brand, 40. Angelina Jolie, 40. Anderson Cooper, 48. Allen Iverson, AI, 40 years old.
Wow.
Dave Navarro, 48. Liam Nielsen, 63, Taken 4, coming out tomorrow. No, I'm making that up. Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, 74. Kanye West, 38. And the nasty man himself, Prince, had his 57th birthday last week. We'll be back with more of the Sports Joc Show right after this.
Sometimes she's here, you can take away. I'm a hot air balloon, I could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like that's what you want. Dr. Davis.
Nurse, set up an IV. And you, her boyfriend, you were the driver?
Yes, doctor, but I didn't mean to hurt her. I only had a few drinks. I was just buzzed.
Just buzzed? Oh, then your girlfriend is fine.
Hey, sweetie. I feel great.
She's really okay?
What, are you kidding? No, not really. Nurse, get me a suture kit. Stat.
Buzzed driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This moment of uncontrollable laughter was made possible by a 32-year-old man with little to no coordination attempting to execute a simple cartwheel. His name is Sergeant Warner, but young James, our laughing friend here, simply calls him Dad. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Sure, humans can be a little weird at times, but take it from me, I'm a dog. And a person is about the best thing that can happen to a shelter pet. So if you want to learn how you can be that person, get down to your local pet shelter or visit theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy, sitting here with the funny man, Big Kenny. Before I bring on our guest, we know her well. North Dakota man who was convicted of drunk driving at the hockey game. He only got 9 days. I thought it was a very light sentence. He was arrested and charged with driving the Stromboli drunk. And is it Stromboli?
The Zamboni.
The Zamboni
Right.
drunk. And they only gave him 9 days for that.
Was he
It was
driving
during a game. He was drunk
Oh.
out on the ice driving the machine, intoxicated. Anytime they sent him out there to smooth the ice out.
All right.
That was his job.
Because I'm thinking like he's not supposed to be on the ice there in the middle of regulation play, and all of a sudden he come through whipping with one hand. You know what I mean?
He kept running into the walls. That's how they knew he was drunk. Every time he would go out there, he's floating all over the place.
And it couldn't have anything to do with rubber tires on ice. You know what I'm saying?
He was driving real crazy then if he was out there. So he got 9 days. It was a high school game.
Wow. Okay. Which adds a level of difficulty because there are children involved.
How do you get intoxicated at a high school hockey game?
Well, it's hockey.
You can show me.
It's hockey. That's all they do is get intoxicated.
No matter what level.
Yeah. Kids hockey, there's some dude drunk on a Zamboni like, I need to stop doing this.
But one of our great people, personalities on the show, she is leaving us. She is going to Africa and find her people. It has been her lifelong dream to figure out where she was from. I wish her luck over in Africa doing that. Miss Erica Ash is on the line. Good morning to you, Erica.
Hi guys.
No, she's not going to Africa, people. She knows where her people are from.
I
was about to say her people from Stone Mountain. She know where her tribe leads right back to Old National. You know, and it's not hard.
Miss Ash.
Like that L Big Kenny.
No, I'm talking about South.
Good morning to you, Miss Ash.
Good morning, guys. I'm gonna miss you guys.
Where are you headed to?
I'm actually headed to Bali and to Sumatra.
Oh, I wasn't off.
You weren't too far off.
Yeah.
I'm going away.
You going away? You got all your shots and everything?
No, I'm just gonna ride dirty. You know.
Erica, you know I've always been fond of you, but when you said you were gonna ride dirty, I think I love you now. You know what I mean? Well, let me ask you, what are you going for? Are you filming over there, or are you just going to experience the world and soak up some culture?
Well, actually, a bit of all of it. So, a friend of mine, an old makeup artist that I had when I was on Mad TV, she and I are going over there with another young lady, and we're going to do a project that we are going to be partnering up with Nat Geo to film to bring awareness to the endangered species of rhino, the Sumatran rhino, of which there are only 4 left in the world, period. And just kind of, we're going to do some, she does this thing where she kind of makes people into trees and animals and things, and so she's going to make me into a tree and animal, and Nat Geo's going to film it, and then they're going to talk about the preserve that they have and the rhinos, and just kind of make a big thing so, people can start to really pay attention and realize that this is a problem. And I figured since I was over there, why not, hang out a little bit and have some fun. So we're going to head over to Bali, which I've never been to Bali either, and just kind of soak up some culture.
Wow, that's a long way from Stone Mountain to get some weed.
It is a long way.
Did you say weave or weed?
Weed.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say
funny,
she could have just. Because
I'm
if
in
that.
the weed store right now talking to y'all. So my hair did, so I don't have to worry about it.
Because I was about to say.
They ain't got our product.
Oh man,
I was gonna say if she was looking for weed, she could have just came into the show. You know what I mean? She'd have been straight.
About 6 weeks ago, I was in Florida. I went up to the Animal Kingdom at Disney World, and they had a big, beautiful rhino. It was 2 of them in there. So when you said rhino, and I was thinking, out of all the animals I saw on the ride, it was the most impressive because sometimes you have this image of it, and then you see it, and it almost looks like a moving rock. It's so huge.
Yeah, and they're quite prehistoric looking,
Yeah, it does. It looks like an original animal, like the first thing God made. And it was.
Did you know
before
that they could?
Before his creativity started settling in, God was like, "What about this rock?" And put some legs on it.
Did you know that they can run up to about 38 miles an hour?
Rhinos,
yeah.
That's it. I'll take your word for it. I'm not going to get into a.
They can, right? They can, and a lot of people get caught off guard trying to film them up close, thinking that if they start to close in, they'll outdistance them because they're so big. But they can run 35 miles an hour minimum, and some of them up to 38 miles an hour. So you pretty much just caught and stomped. You know what I mean? That's how
yeah.
And it was something like 200 pounds of vegetation they can consume a day. Like they just sit around. That's a lot of eating. Yeah. I try.
Like a big linebacker-looking animal like that, scary at all, just baffles me.
So your show, Survivor's Remorse. Were you happy last night when your producer? What is LeBron's official title to Survivor's Remorse?
Executive producer.
Executive producer. Did you watch the game last night?
I did not get a chance to. No. How was it? Tell me all about it.
Well, we cut that out because LeBron might hear it and fire you because you didn't watch him play. But no, he played a great game.
Mr. James would understand because I have to pack up all this stuff from shooting down here, getting this show off the ground. I think I get one.
Are you happy with Survivor's Remorse? It comes out in August.
August 22nd. I'm so happy. This season, I've seen the first 3 episodes. They gave us a private screening, the rest of the cast and I, and it's going to be a really good season. It's going to be really good. I didn't think that they could top last season because, I don't have that writer's foresight that they have, but we have some crazy writers, and we have some really sticky situations that the Callawhays get into. So it's going to be highly entertaining, to say the least, and it will definitely spark some conversation.
Are y'all getting close to the Shameless type strip? You ever seen the show Shameless?
I've seen one episode of that. I feel like we are completely, in terms of subject matter, yes. Okay. We have some pretty touchy kind of stuff. Like it's not the same thing, but you would kind of have the same reaction, like, oh wow, okay, But I just think we're just an overall cleaner family.
Don't take
and richer. We're more rich, yeah.
Right.
And let me ask, when it comes to the writers having premises for this upcoming season, like with shows like a Law and Order, they pull from real life crimes and shape them around their episode. Do you guys pull from real life situations in sports with basketball players and incorporate that into some of the shows?
Oddly enough, we don't. We don't set out to do that, but it typically ends up that in our show, 1 or 2 episodes will coincide with some of the things that are going on, but it just happens that way. So, for instance, even on this season, a couple of the episodes kind of coincide a little bit with some things that I've been hearing in the news. I don't know if they'll still be in the news by the time those particular episodes air, but it's a really, really wonderful coincidence. But that makes me feel like we're kind of in the, universal flow of things, and we're doing the right thing.
And it seems like it would be very, very easy to even research and write this stuff, because the outside world of sports is starting to portray like a movie. When you have stuff like Kathleen Jenner, when that kind of stuff happens, you would almost think it was made for TV or for a movie, but this is something that really is happening.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think when it comes to really sort of out there types of stories, I don't think that TV and film are going to even really be able to to create anything that's going to awe people or amaze people or shock people, because, with all the reality TV and the things that people just do, no one's going to, eventually no one's going to want to even see it. They're going to be like, oh, my uncle did that.
And Erica, this is a question that I want to know. Your character on the show, M. Chuck, plays a lesbian. Now, because of that, is there any push by the producers, the executive producers, the advertisers, to portray lesbianism in some sort of positive light, or almost display an advocacy for lesbianism?
I think, and the thing that is really great about our show is that they don't treat it as a special case in any way. So they don't try to, advocate or push it or prop it up. It's just another thing. So, for instance, they wouldn't, nobody pushes or applauds you when you're straight.
Right.
I don't feel that people should applaud you or push you when you're gay. That's just, you just are. Like, I don't get applauded for being black. Wayne doesn't get applauded for being white. You know what I mean? It's just who we are. So. No, but you know what I mean? So I think that's actually one of the attractive things about the show to me, because they don't make it a big deal. That's just kind of a part of her life, and they don't feel like they need to overexpose it or,
Are you going to kiss a woman in the mouth this season?
Yeah.
I'll be watching. I'll be watching.
Well, Erica, go pack your stuff and have a safe trip, and send us a picture of you and the rhino.
I definitely will. You guys, thank you so much for having me on over these 3 months. It's been a blast, and I will miss you guys. I'll see you next season.
All right, travel safe, darling.
Erica,
okay.
Erica has been on Broadway. She's the last couple of years with the Survivor's Remorse show on Stars, doing a lot of big things.
Yeah, Real Husbands of Hollywood on BET.
She was even on, Mad TV at some point,
TV.
correct?
Yeah.
And I asked her that question because it used to be 40 years ago, Star Trek told us about a watch phone.
Right.
And now we've created it. Right. But in sports, the storyline is already acted out in real life. It's just that you can just add it to the show.
Right.
It's almost in reverse, because they hadn't even got around to Caitlin Turner yet.
Right.
Excuse me. So we'll see as we go. Look at them two. We'll be back with more of the Sports Joc Show right after this.
Nurse, set up an IV. And you, her boyfriend, you were the driver?
Yes, doctor, but I didn't mean to hurt her. I only had a few drinks. I was just buzzed.
Just buzzed? Oh, then your girlfriend is fine.
Hey, sweetie. I feel great.
She's really okay?
What, are you kidding? No, not really. Nurse, get me a suture kit. Stat.
Buzzed driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
So you take the mouse and click over there, and then you can choose someone you want to call.
My niece. I click here?
Uh-huh.
This is Louisa. Recently, she got help going online to chat with her family back home.
Okay, so then you want to hit that green button.
This is her first time on the internet and her first time seeing her niece in 5 years. Louisa doesn't know what to expect.
Louisa? Oh my gosh. There she is. This is amazing.
It's so good to see you. You look so pretty.
But this is definitely way beyond.
Oh my gosh.
See what the internet can help you do at everyoneon.org or call 1-855-387-9166 to find a free training class near you. That's 1-855-387-9166.
Oh, I've missed you. Oh, me too.
Brought to you by Connect to Compete and the Ad Council.
You might know me, I'm 50 Cent. You may follow my tweets, my Facebook friends. Odds are fewer than 6 degrees separate us. We're that close. What's crazy is 1 in 6 don't know where their next meal is coming from. These are your co-workers, your neighbors, your friends. Hunger's too close for us to ignore. So visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank to see how you can make a difference. From one close friend to another, let's do this. I'm 50 Cent, and together we are Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Welcome to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. We're sitting here with the funny man, Big Kenny, Chi-Town's finest. Thank you, Erica Ash. Can't wait to see the new season of Survivor's Remorse. It's a show that's loosely based on LeBron James's type life, kind of how Entourage was loosely based on Mark Wahlberg. Right. So can't wait to see that coming up in August.
No, I'm sure it's got a lot to do with the fact that sensationalism sells, but not every professional athlete has that kind of life with some dysfunction and, there's drug use and there's lesbianism and there's, blowing excessive amounts of money and just a lot of debauchery and what we would think goes on in that life. But some of these dudes, they go to work, they play the sport, and then they come home to their families and they just have regular guy life.
Yeah, most of them are. I would say that.
They make sandwiches and they help the kids with the homework.
Yes.
And nobody ever buys 3 prostitutes for his brother's birthday. You know what I mean? That never happens.
You don't come home to your uncle in the bathroom with some girl.
Right.
And,
knocking her out the box. Right. And then you be on some, you got one for me, Unc? Yeah, I got one for you. And then your mama come out, y'all better get up out of here. And that's not really.
It feeds into some of the stereotypes a lot.
Right. As Entourage did.
Entourage did as well, of how they would like it, how people really see it. They're just showing people how they think they see it anyway.
Right.
And that stuff sell. Me making a turkey sandwich gets like 10 seconds of an episode.
And
this is boring.
A lot of what you never see with actors is they portray them as so self-absorbed and so having a sense of entitlement, when a lot of performing artists are very shy and have low self-esteem. That's part of the reason they go into the business for that instant gratification and that everybody likes me feeling.
A lot of people have asked me my opinion on FIFA and the whole soccer federation situation. And all I've been able to say is, look, if you didn't know that all that stuff was illegal, shame on you. How big of an idiot are you? Did you think there was no bribes in something where we get to give something away, Big Kenny? Like, me and you are not going to take, hey, if you give it to us, we'll give you $40 million to give it. Oh, I don't have no dog in this fight. Hey, I'll take that $40 million.
Yeah.
If you was thinking this stuff was not corrupt.
We looking for a place to play. You said use my backyard. Backyard's big enough. I'm not sure. We'll give you $10 million. Let's play here.
Correct. It's like a girl told me one time about modeling. Everybody in the room was 5'10" because that's what they put on the casting, 5'10". So how do you differentiate yourself when you're in that situation? You go in there, you end up on your knees. There you go. You pick me? All right, I'll take that 5'10".
Right.
That's how it works.
Right.
All this who look better, if everybody is under the same stats, that's how it works. It's different if I was looking for 5'10" and it's only one in the room.
Right.
But if I called for 5'10" people and 10 women show up with the same black hair and blue eyes, what's going to differentiate?
Right.
You would like to believe it was just, oh, yeah, she got the look. That's not really. Y'all people live in fantasy land. An unchecked world federation that nobody even knows who the president is
of the most
powerful sport in the world.
world.
And you thought South Africa got it because what?
because of the wonderful accommodations we have here. Look, we have super hot sun and we have medium hot sun. Our stadium is built in the wilderness as opposed to the stadium that we have built in barren land. It is very different here. We offer so much.
You think the people in Qatar, I mean, the world's richest place, where they got slave labor going and nobody's even blinked the eye, that, like 30 people die a day building these stadiums.
Right.
Yeah, but we're still going to hold it in these dead people stadiums.
Right.
They're burying people to build this stuff over there. Yeah, they the world's richest per person, basically, in the world, and it's like 200 degrees. So what? Come on, man.
And then there are
U.S. won't pony up no money. That's why we won't.
And then the U.S. Federation.
No more.
Well, the FIFA Federation is only made up of about 8 dudes. So we got $85 billion, and we need some place for it to go. And, well, you got a jet and you got a villa. Yes. I guess I'll take $4 million. In America, I'm very disappointed in you for snitching. That's all I'm saying. I'm very disappointed in your snitching. I thought,
they're mad. They're mad. That's
we can't claim, we can't lay claim to inventing a lot of things. The French got the French fry. They got kissing. You know what I mean? The Japanese have Chinese food. Same thing. And we invented stop snitching. And y'all just got all in your feelings about losing the game. And now, I'm sure there are a couple of dudes in America who were getting kickbacks on some.
One of them lived here in Fayetteville County. He was like the third in command.
Look at this dude.
He lives right here in Georgia.
He done ruined it for everybody.
And they just went and spilled the beans, and everybody want to confess now. After all that money and all these years. And you know what's going to happen, people? They're going to stay crooked.
Yep, somebody else will get in there.
When there is no governing body of them. They are the governing body. The NFL would be crooked if the Senate would leave them alone. That's why the Major League Baseball don't care about steroids. The Senate brought them people to justice.
Right.
If without an unchecked system, it's just like the internet. We can complain all we want, but it's always going to be the same because there is no policing it. And nobody police these people because none of us know these 8 people. We sit by him every day at the MARTA station and never even know that he's getting like $10 million a month kickback on some deal to take the World Cup to a certain place.
You can if you listen close enough, you could tell who they are because he's the guy trying to convince people about the wonderful conditions in Qatar. No, man, it's really not that hot. 118 degrees ain't what you think. It feels different when you're over there.
But people are just so funny with that. I'm like, it's not a story. Cricket World Federation. Yeah, that's kind of like thinking the mob is dead. No, they just live in Vegas.
And anytime that you are anytime you're in charge of billions of dollars.
They live in Washington, D.C. They part of the Senate. Some of them we call Congressman and Congresswoman. It's the mob. It's the same people. You wonder how a man get elected every year for 50 years? You think he's not crooked? I mean, come on. You don't get elected every year. So nobody ever thought you did a bad job and you died. You got elected at 30 and died at 85. And your policy never changed. You were still with the Klan, and you keep getting
and you keep getting
reelected.
Right.
This guy, even after all the bad publicity, Blatter, they still voted him president again. So everybody ratted and said that they had been taking bribes, and they still gave the man who was running everything his job back.
The senator gets his job at 30, dies at 88, still the senator. And every weekend he has dinner at Crooked Nose Joey's. You know what I mean? And nobody ever thinks, is there anything odd going on here? But if you're in charge of billions of dollars, a lot of people have said, people say that they never would, but not everyone is presented with that line. Right. So if the line's presented to you, you may cross it if, hey, man, we got $85 billion and I'm only going to take $6 million. Nobody will miss that.
I'm saying if the pastor is crooked, the deacon's crooked too. You need to get rid of all of them. Don't think Deacon Johnson, he crooked too.
Right.
He was in on it because he the one dropping Reverend so-and-so at Sister White house anyway.
Exactly.
Hey, dropped me over to Sister White. She made some afternoon lunch. That ain't no real afternoon lunch. I don't know why y'all Them preachers love to go eat. Y'all wonder why they like to go to single women's houses and eat?
Because ain't no food on the menu.
Oh man, they'll never be hanging around the married women. It's always they love to chum up.
And if they do hang around the married women, that's when the husband's off on a mission or something like that for the church. He goes off on the long weekend mission, and he comes back just to check on her, make sure her and the family all right.
Yeah, talking about she cooked a pot of this. You gonna cook some of that? Nah, she ain't cooking nothing. You get over there. You know what you went over there for? No? Oh yeah. Oh, so I'm the only man that
he gonna lay hands on her and fill
I
her
ain't
with
say
the
the man
spirit.
ain't godly. I'm just saying, you know, we all fall short of the glory.
Sister,
some days.
Sister Jenkins, I thought I would come by today. I want to lay my hands on you and fill you with the spirit today, sister. I want to make sure that you are fully absorbed in the divine love that we offer at our church.
And we wish our Congresswoman, we know it's not crooked, Miss Terry Sewell, good luck. She's fighting the people for the changing of the Selma Bridge. We've had Terry Sewell on our show before, Big Kenny.
Yeah, and we know she's not crooked because we've tried to corrupt her.
We've tried.
You know what I mean?
But they're trying to change the bridge that King and the movie, for you people that watch the movie, it's named, the bridge is Edmund Pettus. Edmund Pettus was a Confederate Ku Klux Klan member, and they want to change it to the Journey Bridge, and Congresswoman Sewell, she wants to leave it as the Edmund Pettus Bridge because of the irony that that's what we had to cross at the time, and she doesn't want to get rid of the historical value of that. They want to make it like it never was there. Talking about the Journey to Freedom Bridge is what they want to rename it. I don't know what, like we got out of Egypt or something, but they want to change it to the. But she's fighting them because they're real trying to get that stigma. and trust me, it's all based on this movie because the movie brought the bridge back to life in our memory, and now Selma probably is hating that they have that stigma of 50 years ago.
And if you keep on letting them change it, it'll be the Comcast Journey to Freedom Bridge. I'm telling you, they'll get a sponsorship now.
No, it end up being the Nick Saban Bridge to Hell in a minute. We'll be back with more of the Sports Joc Show right after this.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for all of us. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
The traditional light bulb, a groundbreaking invention in 1879. Other groundbreaking ideas from that time, the whalebone corset, the pedal-operated submarine, and the two-story outhouse. We've come a long way since then. It's time our light bulbs did the same. Visit EnergySavers.gov and learn about energy-saving light bulbs. See, these new bulbs are more efficient than the old ones, like a text message is more efficient than a carrier pigeon. They last longer, too, like how we humans last longer now that doctors use antibiotics instead of leeches. And they cut down on our energy costs, because in our own groundbreaking age of aeroplanes and moving pictures, we deserve a light bulb that saves us some cash. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for all of us. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. We have already ran through this whole show real quickly. They're protesting down in Rio. Rio is hosting the 2016 Olympics. They have just now decided to protest where the lakes and the rivers and all that are just too dirty. And people are now getting afraid that they're not going to be able to clean it up by the time the Olympics roll around, which is really in 12 months. But the sewers, 12 million people in Rio, and basically everything goes into their rivers, and they haven't been able to get them clean. It should be interesting as we dawn on 2016 how that affects people, which athletes might not go, because I wouldn't want to fall into some sewer water, and you're going to spend 2 or 3 weeks paddling water that might get you sick. I mean, we laugh at it now, but that's how you contract disease very easily. Yasiel Puig for the Dodgers is back after 38 days with an injured hamstring. During the A's and the Red Sox game on Friday night, Tanya Carpenter was struck in the head by a broken bat. And you do know in those seats down low on the back of your ticket, it tells you that is your responsibility. And they have signage. So don't think, oh, she has a case. They've already told you if you sit in these seats down here and something hits you, it's on you. As I heard, she was in critical condition. It hit her right in the head, and they rushed her to the hospital. We hope that she is okay. But just remember that when you go to the ballpark and the man or woman at the window says, where you want to sit. Now, if you came there with your girlfriend and just want to yap all day, get hit in the head, don't say the Sports Joc didn't tell you. Now, if you came there to look, sit in those seats. If you came there to talk, sit up high. There go a rule of thumb right there.
And there are some ballparks that have incorporated nets in those areas, but the nets aren't rigid. They give. So if a bat comes that way and you're very close, with that velocity, you'll be thinking, oh, it's a net. It's going to, and then, wow, no, it's not. It's not going to catch
usually
it.
that net is really just from the beginning of dugout to the beginning.
Right.
People really, part of the most exciting thing at the game is the pop fly.
Close.
People love the little pop fly. They almost kill themselves trying to get to that baseball. But I don't think they're going to ever try to phase that part out, because that is something that people look forward to. You see people there with their glove. That's why they have their glove there. They didn't just bring it because it's their like blanket.
Right.
They was hoping they were sitting in one of those sections. The pop ball was going to come, and they can have their Sports Center moment and catch it. So just filling you in right there. What else? American Pharoah won the Triple Crown. First time since 1978. I watched this. Horse racing, it's like a first-round knockout in a big fight. You sit there, you wait, you watch it, and then in 2 minutes it's over, and you're sitting there like, what am I going to do with the rest of my day? I don't have nothing else to do, because it's like, that's it. They show it a couple of times.
I just like listening to the commentary. Here they come in the third round stretch. It's American Pharoah next to Mama Shouldn't Have Had You. Mama Shouldn't Have Had You is pulling up. Mama Shouldn't Have Had You. On the outside is, oh, no, he didn't. Oh, no, he didn't is pulling up. And they got all these crazy names, and this dude is just that's the most fun for me.
Yes. It's just when it's over, it's like that.
Wow, yeah.
And
we prepared 3 weeks for this 2 minutes.
And it's like basically if you didn't go or if you're not having some kind of party, a horse watching party, you're going to be sitting there with a lot of time on your hand. That's all I can say about
And that's what all the Derby parties are called, horse watching parties. That's it.
Hope Solo, one of the biggest names in women's soccer in our country. She will be in the World Cup starting today. U.S. is taking on Australia in her third World Cup. Her sister was on Outside the Lines yesterday. And I got more of the particulars of the fight that happened a year ago where she was charged with domestic violence. One thing I didn't know, the 17-year-old boy, remember the story, Hope was supposed to have attacked her sister and her sister's son, who was 17. The son is like 6'9", 290. And the sister reports that Hope had put him in a move and started banging his head against the ground. I don't, I give Hope a lot of credit, for being able to keep the ball out the goal. But I don't know if she's an action figure. I mean, 6'9", 290, and he's 17. I mean, he's a grown man. And the sister saying she had to pull him off. This is just a whole bunch of family drama played out.
Maybe he was respecting his auntie. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I can't hit Ain't Hope Mama, you know what I mean? And she probably knock her out. I can't hit my auntie.
So the two sisters are saying one is lying and the other one is lying, and it's just a big mess. Hopefully family feuds can stay in home. And what's a party without a good family fight, though, right? That's what you used to look forward to. And when your uncle going to start lying and when one of the aunts going to start fighting with the other's aunt.
Right. And
just my family. No,
and I'm saying, and when it was started at my family gatherings, we just grab a plate and something to drink. You know what I'm saying? And play some bets. Ain't Betty got a mean left now?
Because you already know the two people.
You already know.
Come to the gathering already knowing the two people that don't like each other. It's always been that way, and you just waiting for it to pop off. So I don't know what the surprise is about.
Betty gonna swing on Otis at some point. You know, it happened. It happened Christmas. It happened Thanksgiving. Yeah. It happened 2 Easters in a row. Yeah. So why is this 4th of July cookout gonna be any different?
And the old people gonna act like Uncle did not rub on the little 13-year-old niece's butt and turn their head and act like that didn't go on. And I'm gonna sit there like, dang, y'all letting that roll? Y'all letting that roll tonight? Oh, man.
Just like that.
We family. No, we ain't family.
We ain't that close. Yeah, I'm saying we ain't that close.
Look at she looking over there. They don't want me to tell them family secrets.
Because it happened.
It's the truth. Especially down there in Dothan.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Miguel Cotto, one thing before we go, Big Kenny, I was talking. Miguel Cotto Saturday night knocked out Daniel Gill in the 4th round. One thing about the fight, great fight for Cotto. Left hook to the face was the weigh-in. They were supposed to be fighting for the 157 middleweight title. They both weigh in. Cotto weighed in like 154. Gill weighed in at 157 right on the nose. That was on Thursday, excuse me. Fight night, Cotto's 157, gained about 3-4 pounds. Gill is 180. Now, I thought we was fighting for the 157 title. I don't understand this whole thing. To me, we should be weighed in the day of the fight. That's what we're fighting at. And if that's not your weight, then you have to fight up a weight class.
How do you
but all that trying to, basically squeeze yourself into a weight class to take the advantage of, well, I can put the weight on in 2 days, and now I'm really 175 fighting somebody that might really just legitimately be 150. Is an advantage. I think the weigh-in should be the day of the fight.
How do you gain 25 pounds in 4 days?
I don't know. It's a mystery. But obviously, your body was waiting for you to put something in it. Obviously. When you went ham. Yeah. It absorbed everything. It absorbed everything you put in it.
That's a lot of weight in 4 days.
It did not let it go at all. So every drink you drank, every piece of bread, it went and held on to it because that usually is a sign that is your weight. It's like people talk about water weight. Don't go jogging, get home. Man, I lost 4 pounds. No, you didn't lose anything after dinner. You right back if you eat the wrong kind of dinner. That's why they say it's basically 75% what you eat. But a lot of people like to do that, and take that little water loss as the true weight gain. And obviously this guy should be fighting up 175, 180, but he starves himself to try to make weight.
And then got beat.
Right. Oh, he got knocked out with a quick
that's
left right here.
That's what you get for being a porker.
So that first, you got that first when Cotto
Take
caught him with
this knockout, fat boy.
Watch this left hook Cotto hit him with. Yeah, get some of that there, Rocky.
With no trying to brace himself for the fall.
Get some of that there, Rocky. Look at Cotto hit him with that left hook.
That was like lumber. He just straight went to the ground.
He got to get that count. He trying to make sure he okay. Then he knocked him down again, and the ref jumped in, which was the humane thing to do. He's about to get taken to the house.
The rule of thumb, if you go from standing to looking up from on your back, wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I think this dude's a little more skilled than me. I'm not finna take the broken jaw. I'm going to just go ahead and go with the L.
Anything coming up real quick, Big Kenny?
Friday, I will be in Montgomery, Alabama. Saturday, I will be in Birmingham. So, Alabama the Beautiful, get ready. Me, Mario Torre, and Janet Dollar will be in the house. It's going to be real fun.
And down at Bulldogs on Satellite Stage 2 will be Spencer Haywood, our intern interview.
Oh, did you see Spence threw up the number 1 like I've been upgraded. I'm on stage 1 now. Thank you.
But we are in the ocean.
The truth is, he will throw your ass in the ocean. It's time to wrap things up on the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
When you hear the sounds of the ocean, it gives the Sports Joc just a minute to vent about last week. Back in 1992, my head coach of Auburn, Coach Pat Dye, a man I love dearly, was asked to vacate his job because a story had came out in 60 Minutes that one of the players had received $1,300. Coach Dye and his staff was asked to leave. The money did not directly come from Coach Dye, but under his watch, it was giving. North Carolina, the University of North Carolina, has been running a fake class system for its athletes for 2 decades. The head coach of the basketball team, Coach Roy Williams, got an extension to his contract. So my coach got fired for $1,300. 20 years of fake classes gets you a contract extension. America, the beautiful. So for that, UNC.
Walk the plank.
Something tells me that most people will believe 20 years of fake classes might be a little heavier than $1,300, but that's just me. For Big Kenny, the funny man himself, my producers, dancer number 1 over here, Spencer Haywood, and myself, enjoy your Monday. Peace.